Okey, Assalamualaikum dan selamat malam. So hari ini kita bersama dengan saudara Putera yang mana pemandu daripada JR Speed Suci Muci. So, kita akan bagi dia bawa dulu kereta X50 ni. Tadi dia dah try beberapa lap. Jadi kita akan bagi dia bawa dulu untuk rasa satu lap. Ikutkan ini experience pertama bang Abang bawa SIM
Ya betul, experience pertama ni.
So sebelum ni abang dah race beberapa race lah dekat Sepang. Tapi hari ni kita bagi dia rasa SIM untuk EXN X50 Series ni, bagi dia bawa X50 dekat Suzuka, track yang kita akan main kejap lagi. Okey bang, sila jalan dulu. Sila jalan dulu teruskan perjalanan. Jadi track Suzuka ni dia agak panjang. So malam ni kita akan main dalam lebih kurang 90 minit 90 minit untuk kereta ni. Minyak takkan cukup. Tayar pun kena tukar.
Dia ada pit stop semua macam
dia ada,
betul lah.
Betul. Jadi untuk 90 minit yang pit stop strategi tu benda yang paling penting. So bang, abang dah drive X50 ni untuk lap yang ke, saya rasa lah 8 ke 9 lap dah So pendapat abang dengan kereta ni bang?
Kereta ni power. Kereta ni power. Tapi saya yang tak biasa lah.
So dia punya feel ni pada abang macam mana?
Feel SIM ni okey. Maksudnya sebelum kita ke track yang kita tak tahu tu, memang sebaiknya kita try dekat SIM dulu. Memang sangat-sangat membantu lah bagi saya rasa.
So guys, kau dengar guys ni bukan aku cakap tau. Ni abang bukan race driver yang pertama cakap benda ni tau. Setiap kali kita orang jumpa race driver, kita orang akan tanya benda yang sama. Sebab kita nak bagi tahu orang yang sebenarnya kalau korang tak ada duit nak pergi beli nak pergi masuk track day, belilah SIM dulu, cuba dulu, merasa lepas tu baru kita masuk track day.
Ini sambil-sambil mengacun apa?
Sambil bang. Dua dalam satu So track Suzuka pun abang tak pernah drive sebelum ni bang
Memang tak pernah.
Suzuka lah, sorry. Suzuka ni memang tak pernah drive. Jadi Suzuka ni dia popular dengan event-event seperti F1, Suzuka 24 Hours, kita ada MotoGP dekat track ni juga. Dia popular dengan track kegemaran ramai. Selain daripada Spa, which is track yang penuh dengan hujan. Dan Suzuka sebab dia punya weather change dia sangat, dia tak suka lah. Dia macam itulah, macam Spa lah. Tiba-tiba sejuk, tiba-tiba panas. Track ni. Betul kan? Betul. Saya kadang-kadang tahu juga bang benda ni. Tapi itulah yang sebenarnya. Okay guys, so kita akan jumpa lagi. Kejap lagi kita akan interview Abang Putera ni. Kita akan tanya lagi mendalam tentang dia punya career dan dia punya aksi-aksi dalam perlombaan sebelum-sebelum ni. Okay.
EXN presents. We're established in 2015, headquartered in Malaysia with US technology. We have been expanding to over 10 global markets and will expand for more. We keep on learning, emphasizing on self-improvement, and yet never stop to innovate and evolve. Let's begin with the new era. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. EXN's new logo, the lubricant expert. Endurance and neoteric. A combination of shield and falcon to protect your car engine at the fastest speed. EXN, the lubricant expert.
So siapa yang belum subscribe Galeri Kereta, boleh klik button kat bawah subscribe, dan kita jumpa lagi di next episode untuk kita apa lagi proses untuk KA30 ni. Okay, see you, bye bye. Assalamualaikum.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at the final round of the EXN X50 Series from the land of the rising sun, the legendary Suzuka circuit. We've just been to Tsukuba earlier on. Now we're at Suzuka circuit. I'll get the Japanese right eventually, but what's going to be important for this particular race is 90 minutes at one of the hardest, trickiest, flowiest, fastest tracks in all of Asia. I'm your host for this evening, Max Palmer. With me in the studio is Encik Budi. Apa khabar?
Alhamdulillah, Max. Sihat macam ni ya. Tapi malam ni kita akan ke Suzuka, Max, untuk 90 minit
Yeah.
perlumbaan. Tapi saya dengar malam ni Suzuka tu cuacanya keadaan agak panas.
Ya, betul. The weather in Suzuka is very hot right now. Boleh dikirakan cecah 40 darjah Celsius, 40 degrees.
40 darjah Celsius. Jadi malam ni perlumbaan dia akan jadi lebih kepada strategi of race.
Yes.
Dia bukan sekadar I am fast and I gonna beat you.
Yeah, and also judging by the server settings and the conditions that are out there right now, it's very, very hot, and it's less than optimal conditions for the track surface as well. So we're going to see the cars sliding around a little bit more. There's going to be a lot more tire wear than they used to at other points in the series. I'm not even sure if they practiced for that yet. That's going to be the interesting part.
Betul lah. Kalau ikut kan dia, kalau dia practice untuk optimal, which is 32 ataupun 33, dia mungkin boleh, tapi wow,
it's going
40 is going to be hard.
Yeah. It's really going to be very difficult indeed to see how they get on with their running now. They're currently doing practice, so that gives us some time to run over all of the things we want to talk about just before the show here. First of all, let's introduce you to the event. This is the final round of the EXN X50 Series, running with one make Proton X50 touring cars with 350 horsepower, over 400 foot-pounds of torque, and basically a full-blown TCR car made out of all things, the Proton X50. I think we've seen a lot of fun racing throughout the course of this championship here, and the drivers, the top two drivers in the championship, will go on to test a real-life racing car, and who knows, maybe even start a whole new career in motor racing.
Itu akan menjadi satu benda yang menarik, Mac, untuk kita perbincangkan. Macam mana dia boleh berpindah daripada main sim racing, daripada sekadar berlumba secara digital sehingga berlumba di alam realiti.
Ya, betul.
Dia maya dengan realiti, dua benda yang berbeza.
Ya, so itu dia boleh kirakan agak challenging jugalah. Kalau orang Melayu cakap challenging.
Ui, betul challenging. Sungguh challenging betul perkataan Melayu ni.
Meme tu memang dah
dia,
sakit dah.
dia tepat tau, dia tepat tu sebenarnya.
So in any case, we would like to thank our sponsors for giving the drivers this opportunity. Special thanks goes out to EXN, the lubricant expert. With a Plus Care package, you won't go wrong. Not only with high-performance lubricants that have been developed at Sepang, but also with fluids for your cooling system, automatic transmission and CVT, as well as the normal transmission oils and all the other fluids that would be in the car, brake fluids and stuff
Banyak
like that.
macam jenis liquid lah.
Yeah, so there you go for the lubricant experts, EXN, our main sponsors. Thank you very much there. And of course, special thanks goes out to Works Engineering, our co-sponsors for this event. Last time I checked in my workshop, full of race cars, and there was about 6 or 7 different gauges that were actually from Works Engineering. It's almost become the de facto standard for cars at Sepang, and is really absolutely fantastic to see them backing not only real-life motorsports but sim racing as well. So special thanks to Works Engineering. And of course, before we carry on too far, there is going to be a giveaway. So this eDrive 3 controller is up for grabs. Do stay tuned for your chance to win this.
Bila Max cakap controller, ni bukan controller main game guys. Ini throttle punya controller, okay?
Yeah.
So, korang berpeluang untuk memenangi giveaway pada malam ini. Inilah dia, hadiah giveaway pada malam ini. Jadi, kepada yang share yang terbanyak, akan memenangi benda ni, bawa balik. Korang boleh bawa balik kalau korang tak nak bagi aku. Confirm aku ambil.
Ni pun dia dah cari proxy dah.
Standby
So there you have it. A special thanks goes out to our media partners, Galeri Kereta. I believe that K30 is still up for grabs. So once they hit 1 million, that car is still up for giveaway. I actually saw that car quite recently, and it is perfect. Absolutely not a single problem wrong with that car.
Saja buat aku sakit hati.
Itu dia. Tak apalah. Maybe next time. So there you go. Special thanks to Galeri Kereta and of course to DSF, Drive Safe and Fast, for all the latest reviews on new and used cars and all the automotive industry news you can get, as well as special motorsports coverage and much more there from DSF. So special thanks to our media partners for this series. There's about 11 minutes of practice left before we get to qualifying, which gives us plenty of time to have a look at our podium positions for this evening. So of course, in the previous round there, we had a spectacular race around the legendary Hungaroring circuit. Classic track, very tight and twisty for these touring cars. It's very tight and twisty for just about any car.
It's very hard actually.
Yeah.
Lepas tu Max cakap, F1 boleh race. Okay. That's been it. Okay.
Well, if they can manage it.
Okay.
But then again, I'm not driving.
Yeah.
So there you go. Our round 3 race winner was Eddie Liu with Ayman Hazik in second place and Wee Kit Low in third position. A really strong group of drivers there, but it was a interesting race because the order has really changed a lot from the first 2 rounds. Coming into round 3, see a lot of drivers suddenly find a lot of pace there. Some expected front runners having to fall back. A big crash that took out a few cars. You had everything in that race.
Dia bergantung juga pada keadaan. Kalau macam kita tengok di race yang pertama, race yang kedua dan race yang ketiga, perlu perubahan pemanduan daripada pemandu-pemandu sangat berbeza. Kita dapat lihat daripada segi diorang punya timing, diorang punya pace dan diorang punya racecraft dah mula menunjukkan hasil ataupun shape lah. Melayu cakap shape.
Kalau orang Inggeris cakap reka bentuk.
Bentuk.
Reka bentuk.
Okay.
So there you have it. Of course, as we head into a new round, we had a good friend of ours test the track out and the car out. He had some interesting things to say about the whole experience. It was his first time driving on the sim. So that was very interesting as well. And of course, we're talking about our EXN JR Speed Suchi Muchi driver. Putera is in the studio this evening. So boleh dikatakan salah satu daripada expert Evo dekat Malaysia.
Betul.
So apa khabar Putera?
Baik, alhamdulillah.
So sebelum kita mula dulu, our special guest star today, apa kata kita cuba introkan sikit Putera dengan karier Putera so far.
Okey, nama saya Putera Fahidz. Saya dalam industri perlumbaan fizikal lah, bukan digital. Baru lagi, sangat-sangat baru, newbies lah orang panggil. Okay, first race saya last round tahun lepas. Maksudnya lepas pandemik tu dia start. So kita itulah baru first time saya dalam industri, orang kata apa, real industry lah, real racing punya kan. Untuk track day tu adalah beberapa kali saya start di Sepang. So untuk MSF baru 3 round lah, baru 3 round. So far alhamdulillah lah, kita dapat apa yang kita nak. Cuma itulah perlumbaan tu kejam kan. Macam-macam boleh berlaku.
Betul.
So mental kena kuat lah.
So itu boleh dikirakan antara salah satu cabaran dekat dalam dunia sukan pemotoran bila kita jadi newcomers ni kan. Memang boleh rasa macam excited, tetapi ada juga dia punya dugaan dia along the way.
Orang Melayu selalu kata peer pressure.
Itu dugaan yang lain. Itu geng kita orang kalau orang putih cakap racun.
Itu benda. Yalah, tapi untuk race di MSF abang pakai kereta Jazz dan juga Evo
Evo 3.
So di antara kedua-dua tadi saya ada tanya abang, mana lagi best? Ini kira persoalan ni, dia kira persoalan macam tak kena kau punya soalan tapi karakteristik yang berbeza. Jadi pendapat abang, kalau orang yang nak bawa kereta laju, dia perlu pergi ke kereta slow dulu ke untuk belajar racecraft ke macam mana?
Memang sebaiknya kita tahu basic lah. Maksudnya kita at least kita bawa kereta standard dulu pun tak apa. Macam saya, memang saya bermula dengan Jazz lah. So kita punya kapten lah, Kapten Nizam pun dia banyak ajar basic daripada kereta yang basic. So daripada situ baru kita dapat kena pasti track, kat mana nak brake, kat mana nak corner apa semua. So sikit-sikit baru kita boleh improve. So bila saya rasa saya dah bersedia, baru saya set up saya punya Evo lah. Maksudnya tak kalau kita tak ready untuk terus bawa kereta yang proper ataupun lebih laju, kerosakan tu akan lagi senang dapat lah.
Itu pun masalah juga. Kalau kita main sim ni, paling rosak pun kita punya mata je lah kot paling rosak pun.
Hati-hati. Hati pun sakit.
Hati sakit.
Hatilah pun kan.
Tapi agak susah. Kalau hati sakit kita boleh remedy kan. Tetapi kalau dompet sakit tu lain cerita.
Perit tu.
Betul bang. Round 2 ni yang paling sakit sekali.
Round 2 paling sakit Buat semasa sekarang round 2 yang paling sakit lah.
Ya, kita pun boleh tahu apa yang terjadi. Kita takkan tanya lagi. off limit punya subjek.
Jangan mungkin lah.
Betul. So untuk para peminat Wira dan peminat Evo dekat Malaysia ni, mesti ada banyak juga yang mungkin boleh jadi peminat Putera juga, sebab kan tak banyak juga Evo 3 yang masuk dekat track. Kalau setahu saya 2-3 je.
Rasanya kalau aku tengok MSF round 1 dengan yang tahun lepas, Putera satu je sebenarnya.
Betul kan?
Dulu ada yang satu yang hijau tu, tapi tak tahu kalau dia datang balik ke tak kan.
Yang hijau tu saya beli body dia.
Patutlah.
Sebab tu tak ada.
Saya beli body dia.
Aku tepi satu NSF tu.
Dia apa? Dia jual kecai. Dia surrender masa tu, so kita beli body kosong, kita rebuild balik lah.
Okay. So boleh bincang sikit pasal spek Evo tu.
Spek Evo tu
apa yang boleh bincang lah.
Apa yang boleh bincang? Tak ada rahsia apa pun. Fully rebuilt by Vertex tune up ataupun abang ni ceret lah. Semua setup memang 100% daripada engine dan tuning apa semua by Abami sendirilah. Untuk handling kita pakai AD garage untuk setup dia punya alignment apa semua. So dia punya horsepower masa kita run tu 350 horse ya. At 1 bar. Turbo pun turbo standard lah, 325 20G. Untuk scramble tu dah, scramble kita 1.3 bar dalam 400 horse lah. 400 horse.
Scramble button. So ini yang biasanya dekat kereta race car kat Malaysia pun kadang je kita dapat nampak juga scramble button ni. So dia kalau
Aku tak tahu benda ni.
kalau geng mini kita selalu geng mini baru kita selalu panggil overboost function.
Betul.
So kalau dia tekan butang tu dia punya boost limit akan naik sebentar. Tapi
dia boleh pakai untuk sementara lah.
Sementara.
Kalau kita pakai macam kita prolong penggunaan tu rosak kan nak kita.
Dia lagi risiko lagi tinggi
dia
lah.
tengok setup lah. Macam saya punya setup high boost tu untuk 10 second je. Bila kita touch tu dia akan high boost tapi selama 10 second lah. Lepas tu dia akan balik normal lah.
Dia boleh dikirakan dalam kategori push to pass.
Betul.
So itu lah boleh kirakan. Kereta Malaysia pun ada juga teknologi canggih sikit.
Betul.
Kita bukan canggih sikit tu, canggih lah. Kira
Okay
canggih lah.
Okay, lambat sikit lah. Macam kita dulu tengok Fast Furious kan, tengok The Nose kan, kita pun target okay, aku nak kat guna. Tapi dapat juga. Walaupun dia bukan Nose, rasa lah dia punya
Teringat
GeForce tu kan.
Betul. Teringat juga masa saya tengah jaga kereta klasik zaman 2-3 tahun lepas. Dia pun pasang juga push to pass button. Kau nak tahu apa? Butang horn.
Okay.
Mati-mati kita tengok push to pass. Last dekat grid. Nah, push to pass. Pip.
Dia nak ada juga
Nak ada juga tu.
Dia nak rasa juga.
Tapi yang Putera punya betul-betul push to pass. So itu yang kira proper teknologi.
Kira dengar tu guys. Ini kira informasi yang baru untuk orang macam aku. Sebab benda-benda macam ini kita tak pakai dekat kereta biasa.
Ya, betul.
Biasanya benda ni kita letak pada kereta-kereta yang lebih kepada track ataupun performance car lah.
Ya, so sebentar tadi kita boleh kirakan kita dah bincang pasal real life motorsport, tetapi kita dah introkan ataupun racunkan Putera sikit masuk ke dalam sim.
Kena racun kau tadi tu.
So ke dalam sim juga kita Putera boleh dikirakan pemandu kedua yang menyahut cabaran adrenaline impact time attack. So kita ada sim dekat dalam studio ni. Kita bagi sedikit practice time. Lepas tu kita bagi 3 lap untuk cuba dapatkan masa. So betul. Apakah feeling nak bawa kereta GT86 tu dalam situasi macam tu?
Dalam situasi sebenarnya agak sedih juga kereta tu. First time bawa 86 rear wheel drive. Kalau dekat track pernah lah bawa rear wheel drive kan, tapi kat dalam sim ni memang kalau dekat Sepang tu mungkin lah kita ada idea sikit. Tapi bila suruh kat track lain tu Allah, memang take time sikit lah kot.
Ya.
Maksudnya kena beli satu lah.
Saya kata tadi bang, saya dah standby dah siap tu. Saya dah bagi tu siap lah. Abang bagi tahu je bang macam mana. Nanti saya uruskan.
Dia dah ada menu package A, package B, package C. Dia bukan jual SIM pun, tapi dia memang dah ada package je. So boleh kirakan ada juga rear wheel drive experience sikit, sebab kita pun ternampak tadi yang kat bawah tu ada juga kereta merah yang agak cantik dan agak boleh kirakan ikonik dalam dunia SIM sebenarnya.
Sangat tu. Sangat.
So
cuba cerita sikit lah pasal kereta tu kan.
Itu Mazda MX-5 yang second generation lah, 2013. Tu ada sentimental value lah kat saya lah. Maksudnya jatuh bangun pun kereta tu yang masih ada lah. Maksudnya yang masih taman susah gila pun memang dia je lah jadi peneman yang tersadai kat tepi jalan lah apa lah. So memang ada orang offer harga merepek-repek pun kita tak rela untuk melepaskan dia.
Berapa lama pegang kan tu bang? Berapa lama pegang
Yang tu sejak 2015 kalau tak silap.
Kira awal kat ni.
Dia 2003. Bukan 2003 sorry.
2013 dia dah yang baru sikit.
Yang baru.
Dah ND kot.
Tapi tu cantik.
Ya.
MX-5 ni masalah dia bang. Dalam series sim racing MX5 adalah series yang rookie sampai pro. So dia ada dia punya series dia. Memang dia punya series tu kata semua nak masuk memang akan masuk tu lah.
Yang boleh dikirakan infamous series lah. Sebab ada banyak driver. Sentiasa akan ada driver untuk masuk dalam series tu.
Kira kalau setiap jam tu ada, dia setiap jam ada race kan. Jadi setiap jam tu ada setiap satu race ada 10 driver, 20 driver. So setiap session ada 3 ke 4 session. So begitu ramai driver untuk setiap jam.
Dia sampai dia kena pecah-pecah.
Split.
So kereta tu pernah tak masuk dalam sport?
Tu ada orang bawa lah, tapi untuk fun je lah. Bukan saya bawa. Kita punya dulu ada partner yang commission kereta tu lah. Sebab dulu kita buat sewa juga. Sekarang pun kita ada buat sewa juga. Yang terbaru ni filem apa tu, KL Underground tu.
KL Gangster Underground.
Bukan
Bito Syairi, bukan?
Ya,
tahu saja.
Apa nama dia, yang Kat Faris punya tu, yang dia sambung balik shooting tu.
Oh, yang lumba tu? Bukan
Dia buat, maksudnya dia buat, kita boleh buat sewa jugalah. Dulu kita Badang pun ada.
Badang?
Kita Badang yang Alif Syukri angkat kereta tu.
Itu
kereta
bang.
dia.
Ini kira kalau cerita Badang tu dah kira lain level tu Hollywood bang.
Aduh.
Mat Kilau Underground Badang Edition. Itu daripada kita punya pit lane reporter Umar Aziz. Baru dia hantar message.
Umar punya humor level lain. Mat Kilau Underground Badang Edition.
Itulah dia campurkan humor Melayu dengan humor orang putih.
Dia sekali dua dalam satu.
Itu dia. So last kali kau rasa ada tak apa-apa? Oh sekejap, ada juga lagi satu soalan daripada ni. So soalan paling last daripada Budi.
Tak ada. Okay.
Tak ada. Cancel.
So abang tadi drive dalam sim kan. So apa pendapat abang sendiri lah, dia punya first impression abang bila abang pegang sim tu sendiri?
Itulah masa masuk 2-3 turn tu kan, kepala saya mula pening sikit. Lepas tu dah dapat feel tu, rasa okey. Sempatlah buat time dengan Evo tu tadi kan. Maksudnya kalau untuk newcomer sesuai lah. Bukan newcomer je, maksudnya kalau dia dah nak start serius dalam dekat track yang sebenar, memang sangat bagus untuk dia ada ataupun dia cuba sim ni dulu. Maksudnya dia ada idea sikit lah sebelum dia ke track yang sebenar.
Betul juga tu.
Ya, dan ni pun boleh dikirakan suasana yang lagi murah, lagi selamat sikit.
Dia
dan,
semua lagi
dia akan memendekkan tempoh pembelajaran kita.
Sebab
cost lah.
Sebab apa, kebanyakan orang bila dia tak cuba benda tu, jadi dia kata sim racing ni mudah.
Betul.
Jadi bila kita dah cuba, kita macam susah benda ni.
Kereta tu salah. Driver okey.
Driver okey, betul lah tu. Driver okey. Ingat macam main Daytona bang Tak, bukan.
Driver always right.
Tak apa, kalau kita marahkan kereta tu takkan marah balik.
Betul.
Kalau kita marah team boss, itu lain cerita.
Okay, so kalau ada viewer yang mana nak bertanya soalan, boleh tanya di komen. So kita akan cuba untuk mendapatkan jawapan untuk anda.
Ya, so jom kita carikan kalau ada apa-apa. Ada juga satu soalan, bila nak ada simulator kat rumah nanti?
Bila? Siapa yang tanya?
Ini soalan panas ni bang Bila nak ada simulator kat rumah, sebab boleh nak improve, boleh lah. Macam-macam benda kita boleh improve Racecraft apa semua kan.
Itulah. Kalau ikutkan lama dah. Kan? Tapi itulah.
Mungkin kena sewa studio sebiji.
Masalah dia bukan pemandu, tetapi the better half of the penang.
Ya.
Sebab kalau nak cakap sini kan macam buka aib sendiri.
Benda ni bahaya. Sebagai seorang lelaki, kita memahami lelaki yang lain Kita brotherhood
Kita harap yang soal ni faham. Bukan tak nak, sangat nak kan.
Tapi betul.
Maklum.
Okay, so aku rasa kita macam dah nak masuk ke qualifying session.
sebentar lagi kita akan masuk ke dalam qualification sessions. So itu pun ada lagi juga satu soalan sebelum kita masuk ke dalam sesi kelayakan ataupun qualifying session. Bila mula belajar racing ni siapa? Ada tak sifu ke siapa-siapa yang
Okey, saya sebenarnya ada dua sifu lah. Dua cikgu. Yang first dan tentulah Nizam, kita punya teammate sendiri. Dia lah yang yang bagi tunjuk ajar dulu dengan jazz tu lah. Dengan jazz tu. Kemudian bila saya dah start dengan Evo tu, saya rasa macam tak cukup lagi. Macam tak cukup. Maksudnya saya rasa saya boleh laju lagi. Tapi banyak teknik yang perlu diperbetulkan. So saya join ORC bersama Faiz Alang lah. Yang tu lebih details lah. Sebab dia dah pengalaman lebih 20 tahun dalam bidang motorsport ataupun kat Sepang. So setiap inci track Sepang tu saya rasa dia
dah makan lah, dah rasa
dia sebelah mata pun dia boleh ni lah.
So kalau tidur pun mimpi Sepang kan. Kalau macam itu.
So banyak personal coaching dengan dia lah. Sebab online, bila kita join dia akan bagi kita online kelas selama 6 bulan setiap minggu. Setiap minggu dia akan kupas topik brake, topik cornering, semua aspek lah. Dan dia ada ORC special. Lepas tu dia akan bagi sesi 2 jam dekat Sepang. Kita bawa kereta sendiri lah. Kat situ baru kita rasa pemanduan yang sebenar lah. Rupanya banyak kita buat silap lah. Bila saya duduk sebelah, dia bawa
lain tau rasa sudah bertahun. Ya biasa kita bawa, kita tahu pun kita tak suruh orang bawa lain pula. Cara pemanduan ni
itu ya. Betul. So itu boleh dikirakan agak seorang legenda Malaysia juga.
Betul Fazal.
Itu pun boleh dikirakan salah satu daripada banyak juga boleh dikirakan sekolah pemanduan
yang ada
driving untuk track kat Malaysia ni. So
kira ada banyak ada 3-4 juga yang popular kan.
SSAD pun ada, ORC pun ada. So memang apa-apa pun kita ada jugalah dia punya knowledge. So itu dia. So AI Studio Club pun ada.
AI Studio Club ajar korang macam mana nak race dekat dalam digital. So kalau ada sesiapa yang nak masuk dan nak belajar lagi, boleh lepak dekat Discord. Betul. Kita bagi free. Yang ni free.
Tapi
mungkin
iman kena kuat.
Iman kena kuat. Itu penting Sebab dia kenapa risau kena racun. Benda kalau kena racun ni payah nak cerita.
Itu yang jadi susah tu.
Okay, so qualifying kita dapat tahu yang qualifying pun telah pun bermula. Mereka di dalam sesi dalam outlap sekarang ni. Jadi kita mungkin akan bergerak ke sana ke?
So jom kita tengokkan apa keadaan. So let's see out there right now. Kita pun masih berada dengan Putera yang akan join kita sampai kesimpulan kehabisan.
Habis qualifying.
Okay.
Bukan kehabisan.
Kesimpulan.
Sampai habis sesi kelayakan.
Okay.
Nanti Max cakap kualifikasi. Okay.
Al-maklum dah lama keluar sekolah kat Malaysia ni.
Itulah.
Jalan halfway je.
Itu dia. Dapat je server personal best baru 207 track ni panas betul ni.
Kita boleh nampak juga the degradation is quite high right now as we move over to Suzuka circuit, and it looks like there's quite a bit of pack qualifying going around here, and this is one of the tracks where you can actually see pack qualifying going on right now. Air temperature is quite low at 28 degrees Celsius, but the track temperature is very hot at 41 degrees Celsius. So for Suzuka, this is as hot as it's going to get right now. It's been baked in. They had quite a few sessions beforehand, quite a lot of support races. The track is also not completely optimal. It's not quite at 100%. So this is going to be, I think, the biggest challenge for the drivers throughout the course of the day, because of course in real life nothing's optimal. Nothing's ever 100%. There's always going to be a little bit of difference with grip level, with temperatures and everything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see who can actually get a quick lap time, and more importantly, during the course of the race, who can get a consistent pace without burning up the tires.
Betul Max. Untuk mungkin ada yang tak faham bila kita cerita pasal track temperature, air temperature. Tapi kita boleh tanya kepada Abang Putera lah. Abang pernah rasa tak beza temperature yang rendah dengan temperature yang tinggi atas track?
Pernah. Memang sangat orang kata benda tu strategi juga. Maksudnya bila track panas, tayar kena berapa. Bila track sejuk, tayar kena berapa. Maksudnya dia banyak memainkan peranan kat situ lah.
Nampak? Itu yang membezakan apabila kita kata race ni 90 minit 40 degree bang dia punya track. Bunyi dia macam 40 degree tu biasa. Well dekat Sepang pernah terjadi sampai 50 something.
60 was the highest.
60 was the highest in Sepang track temperature. Ya. Okay.
Saya ada juga story sikit masa tu. Saya kerja sebagai tyre engineer. The day that track temperature kat Sepang sentuh 60 darjah Celsius, saya tengah jaga tayar untuk Clio Cup. Clio Cup memang boleh dikirakan, Renault Clio Cup ni boleh dikirakan kereta yang paling abuse tayar. Sebab memang dia orang punya driving style tu agak sideways juga. Memang setup kereta tu macam tu.
Clio V6
tak, Clio biasa.
Clio biasa.
Clio 2 liter yang front wheel. Kita boleh nampak sampai dia punya tayar tu, kita boleh sentuh getah tu, tarik je. Lepas tu ada juga markah kat tangan. Kesan kat tangan.
Dia punya panas dia.
Itulah. That is officially overheated tires.
Dia bila dia terlampau panas, jadi dia punya grip tu tak ada tau. Dia punya grip tu macam hilang sikit lah.
Betul.
Itu pun menjadi satu masalah juga tu. Risau juga orang ingatkan kalau lagi panas bukan lagi senang ke? Bukan lagi elok ke?
Ada juga limit dia. As with anything, there is always a limit. So, kalau kita makan 1 sugus tak apa. Kalau kita makan 100 sugus masalah.
Tak boleh. So sekarang catatan masa terpantas di set oleh Wicked Low yang mana catatan masanya adalah 2 minit 7.609 saat. Diikuti Aiman Haziq di bawah dengan catatan masa 2 minit 08.476 saat. Well, nampaknya 3 nama, 4 nama, 5 nama yang kat atas, 6 nama yang kat atas. Memang semua ni memang nama-nama yang memang laju ni.
Yeah, there you have it. Like Budi said there, Wicked Low with a 207.609 fastest man out there. Aiman Haziq there in second place, Muazzam in third position. That's Gascoon right up at the front of the field there. He's been practicing all week for 2, 3, 4 hours a week.
Up to 2 a.m. yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our assistant official here, Alip Jantan, as he's known, he's also had joined in for a few practice sessions.
A chance to join in.
And he just got absolutely hammered the first few times he went out there. He said he learned so much. It's a bit cutthroat, but once you get past that cutthroat feeling, it was amazing. He improved by leaps and bounds there.
Well, aku nak tanya kepada Abang Putera lah. So keadaan kita tadi bawa kereta X50 ni dekat track ni kan, agak-agak boleh buat tak timing gini?
Tadi memang lebih kurang kan dia.
Level ni bagus
Betul. Cuba tengok. Tengok balik replay kan.
Betul.
Dia amat sikit je lah sebab tadi tu sebab terlalu baru kan. So dah boleh race ni.
Standby masuk.
Ada kereta lagi satu dalam dekat pit.
Ada extra. Jadi betul. Jadi macam saya kata tadi lah, nampak bila kita tengok orang main macam senang.
Itulah tu, nampak smooth kan.
Sekali bila nak break, mana break break tak ada.
Break tu tak makan lah.
Break tu tak makan. Break rosak bang kita ni bang. Dapat Kamal Ali baru memintas Muazzam Zairi dengan Aiman Haziq pun dah set 207 Max.
Yeah. Itu dia Kamal Ali sekarang on board there now with Kamal Ali, and you can see his steering. You can see his steering input. You can see absolutely everything, even when he changes gear. This is an absolutely brilliant use of the driver cam right now, and you can see Kamal Ali. I do apologize. Going after Wicked Low's lap time right now. Just have a look at his steering technique. It's absolutely wonderful. He seems to just be able to go immediately and pick an angle and hold the car at that angle. It's almost halfway between a flick and smooth driving. Watch him as he goes through. Oh,
No.
just baru nak puji. Just about to say.
Commentator ke di setting
Dia dah tak pakai helmet.
Oh betul lah bang, dia dah tak pakai helmet Tapi kalau duduk dalam bilik pakai helmet parah agak ni bang. Risau-risau pula. Bini tengok pun risau kalau macam gini ni.
Kata nak fit. Peluh-peluh ke racing suit kan. Bawa lah tak suruh apa.
Aduh.
Kerana kalau
Siap glove semua kan.
kalau ada aircon bang tak apa. Ini kalau tak ada aircon tak berderai. Kena 90 minit keluar-keluar kalau saya bang. Keluar-keluar kurus bang.
Kau tak payah exercise. Kau pakai full suit, racing suit, kau main 90 minit.
Habis.
Confirm.
Dia dah keluar jadi macam Harry Styles.
Kira lepas ni tu exercise rutin aku lah.
Jangan buka aircon, jangan buka kipas. Itu betul-betul rasa dalam kereta.
Yeah.
Standby kan.
Tapi lawa EX50 ni.
Lawa bang. Lawa. Kalau ada S50, abang ada S50 nanti buat macam ni. Alah, tambah white body kit je pun. Lepas tu boleh main Sepang ni.
Dia ni cakap pasal white body kit, pasal racing slick tu macam nak beli nasi lemak je.
Alah, terlanjur nak buat. Terlanjur nak buat.
Inilah nama dia racun.
Tapi betul. Sebab kalau ikutkan kereta yang dikeluarkan untuk X50 yang ni, ini dikeluarkan oleh Geely sendiri yang diorang buat untuk E-series diorang. So ni basically official TCR car dalam e-sport untuk Geely punya race series lah.
Tapi yang dia betul-betul kat luar tak adalah design macam ni.
Tak ada. Sebab diorang fokus pada Volvo. Volvo?
Ya, Volvo dan Link & Co. Dua
yep.
brand daripada
Volvo.
Pada
Volvo.
Dua brand daripada Sweden.
Ya.
Baru nak terfikir Sweden dah bahasa Melayu apa ya?
Sweden? Tak ada dah nama lain.
Sweden.
Sweden. Oh betul lah bang. Ada soalan yang menarik yang saya dapat ni bang Agak-agak JR Speed Suci Muci tak nak hantar event untuk tak nak hantar driver untuk race online event ke?
Bahaya kalau hantar sebenarnya. Saya takut event ni baru.
Dia dua bang. Satu risau event jadi tak tahu jadi apa. Yang nombor dua risau berebut. Siapa nak lumba ni?
Betul.
Yang berebut ni masalah ni.
Sebab tengok Nizam punya time dengan saya lebih kurang. Sudah tahulah kalau kabut dia macam mana.
Rupanya rival paling besar dalam tim sendiri. Itu yang dia merisaukan sikit.
Nampaknya Muazzam Zahri pun dah touch timing yang sama Max, yang mana 2 minit 7.794 saat.
Agak dekat juga.
Dekat sih dia dengan Aiman Aziz
Yeah, with Muazzam's latest time there, wicket low at 207.6, Aiman at 207.7, and Muazzam at 207.79. The top three are incredibly close right now in the standings. Let's have a quick run through with a couple of minutes left on the clock there. With a minute left on the clock, I do apologize. Wicket low is in first place, followed by Aiman, and Muazzam in third place. Gaskun there really holding flag up for all of the AC fans out there. Kamal Ali is in fourth place. Again, I was saying he had a very interesting steering technique there, but every time we try and show it, he crashes, which is very, very annoying. Jasmine's gone a little bit quicker. Ayman Haziq, wow, Ryan Lim has managed to sneak into the third position. It's all happening right now. The times are starting to tumble down. I think the track is beginning to rubber up very nicely towards the end. Of course, it's not ideal conditions, but it will get better with more cars running on track.
Max, kalau kau tanya aku, I'm gonna pray big for Ryan.
Yes.
Because last race,
I talked about this yesterday with him when we were playing Forza. In the last race, I was just saying, there's no way if we wished him. The commentator's curse doesn't work like that.
No.
It doesn't work like that. So, we'll wish him a happy birthday right there on stream. He'll be quite happy with himself. He's doing brilliantly. And he crashed. And yes, when we were playing Forza last night, he did bring it up.
No, we are actually trying to play really hard for you. At least nampak macam ni
So kita tak boleh puji.
Kereta macam ni barulah syok. Lagipun berbaloi.
Betul.
Kereta macam ni barulah syok. Betul lah tu bang. Betul. Kereta macam ni memang syok Betul.
Dia lagi nampak macam, first of all, it's very
very racy.
Yeah, it looks very aggressive, it looks beautiful, and it's also something we see on the roads every day, but it's been transformed into something very special.
The problem with X50 yang kita ada atas jalan, dia tinggi. Yang ni dia nampak macam hot hatch.
Betul?
Yeah.
Jadi dia nampak lagi solid. Well, this is the things yang aku tengok bila first X50 keluar. I was like, oh, ini kalau buat slam cantik saya kata.
So there you have it. Ayman Haziq there managed to jump up into first position. He's gone into the pits there. He won't be improving his time. Wicket Low is in second place. He's managed to go up as well, coming up into second place. He dropped down a little bit just now. Ryan Lim is the fastest man still out on track. Will he be able to improve his time? Let's have a look. Coming down towards the line here, and yes, he has improved his time, but not by enough to overtake Wicket Low. He takes home third position there. Muazzam in fourth place already in the pits, and Kamal Ali still out on track, 208.325. Do we dare watch him again on the in-car camera there, coming up around the braking zone?
I'm not going to say anything about that.
But I was just saying about Kamal Ali, he had a very unique steering angle. If you see, he just picks a perfect steering angle, gets the car set up, just sliding a little bit on the entry, and he can return the steering wheel very quickly, but he also adds on lock very, very quickly indeed. You'll see it. He's very spectacular going through 130R here, which is this flat-out left-hander. Well, it's flat out in the Formula 1 car, and these cars, you do have to lift off, go down the gears there, but see, absolutely unique. It looks like the steering wheel is being controlled by a servo motor.
Betul lah Max. Dia punya cara pemanduan dia, teknik pemanduan dia sangat smooth Dia tidak memilih untuk drive macam banyak sangat correction.
Yeah.
He just macam commit, dan aku rasa dia punya setup dia lebih kepada setup untuk bagi wiggle sikit tayar belakang so that he can have a bit of that wiggle punya style.
Yeah, so there you have it. Kamal Ali takes home the fifth position there. He's going to head back into the pits there. Jesman out on track still. Jesman Tan, again, he's actually in the fight with Wicket Low for second position. Now remember, the top two get the testing opportunity, and that's going to get decided tonight. We already know that Ayman Haziq will take home that test drive, but we're looking for car number 2 here in terms of the overall championship. Of course, most of the drivers would love, absolutely dearly love, to actually go out and win the final round of the championship. Look at that, Jesman Tan pushing the car right out to the limit there, trying to find every single last centimetre of performance as they toss it through the final chicane there. Again, an interesting line from Jesman going around the corner there, but unfortunately it looks like he had a track limit violation, so he's going to finish that lap time. So Putera, apa feeling nampak diorang drive macam tu?
Macam tu lah saya nak buat tadi.
Niat ada.
Itu penting.
Niat betul lah. Niat memainkan peranan Niat dah ada tadi tu.
Tapi apa yang lagi interesting daripada semua tu kan, sentiasa kita tengok dalam series ni, top 5, top 6 tu semua dalam 1 second, kadang dalam separuh second. Ni 0.2 gap daripada tempat pertama ke tempat
sampai
ketiga.
Sampai habis
0.2 second lah. Yeah.
Betul.
So agak dekat juga race.
Sebenarnya gap tak jauh sangat 207, 208, 209.
2 second.
The whole grid kan. Well, rapat tu.
Kalau grid MSF tu biasanya dia 5-6 second lah at least kan.
Tapi kalau macam main kategori macam jazz tu, kategori apa, standard, kategori standard lah, tuner production, dia gap dia lebih kurang macam ni lah. Dia tak jauh sebab dia dunia horsepower lebih kurang.
Kereta dia pun dah lebih kurang lah. Dah, kalau kita orang cakap kadang BOP lah.
Betul.
BOP, balance of performance
Ya.
Okay, bukan balance of power. Bukan balance.
Bukan burger OP juga ya.
Bukan. Janganlah lapar weh.
Kita baru je dapat berita sikit. A little bit of news there from a pit lane correspondent, Umar Aziz, who's just been down there with a tire probe to check on the track surface. But he did comment earlier on there, it's still at 40 degrees and probably climbing. But he was saying there about Sepang and the 60-degree track temperature. 60 degrees is officially hot enough to cook burgers and benjos.
Oh. Wow.
Dah cukup panas.
So kira kalau nak masak time 60 degrees kau boleh lempar kat atas track. Don't do that guys. Tak hygiene tu. Jangan.
Tak, nanti rasa petrol dengan rasa tayar tu.
Okay, so kita ada lebih kurang beberapa saat saja lagi. Beberapa minit lagi, 1 minit.
Yeah.
Untuk permulaan perlumbaan
Yeah, and of course we're going to have to say a very, very fond farewell. Fond farewell. Kita akan mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Putera kerana sudi join kami di dalam studio. Harap-harap nanti kita boleh bincang lagi pasal perlumbaan ni.
InsyaAllah.
Mungkin nanti dia boleh datang test lagi Nampak gaya dia macam nak test lagi.
Ya, betul.
Boleh.
Bahaya. Sangat-sangat bahaya.
Ya.
Terima kasih juga sudi jemput saya yang sangat baru dalam industri ni. Terima kasih banyak-banyak tim Galeri Kereta.
Ya. So, terima kasih juga Putera. So, alright, kita akan bergerak ke track. So we're going to head on over to the track right now. Special thanks there to Putera and a very fond good night there to him. Right now we've got only a few seconds left, 40 seconds left on the clock before the start of the race right now. And as you can see there, Aiman doing very well with for himself there. Ryan again further up the field. This is actually the gap that you would see between the different cars before the start of the race. It's not exactly quite even. They paint the track based on distance from they paint the the grid boxes at a set distance, but it doesn't quite work out at the same time. But in any case, the lights are on. The 6 lights are on, and as the red lights go on, as they're about to go down here, it's go, going down towards turn 1 here, an absolutely epic turn 1 there. They've got to brake, turn the cars in, then brake again, then turn the cars in even harder. With these front-wheel drive cars, it's very difficult there. They're going 3 wide, they're going 4 wide, going through the corner there. It's not a very wide track, this. In some places, you could really only get 2 cars around there. A lot of people forget this track was designed and built in the 60s. So it's a very old racetrack indeed. But it looks like Ayman's managed to get himself up into first position. Wicket Low is in second place. Muazzam's managed to gain a position, getting up into third position. Jasmine also gaining a position, going into fourth place. Ryan's dropped down a couple into fifth. And Kamal Ali is in sixth position. Nicholas doing very well for himself, managing to get himself up into seventh place there. But now going around there, it looks like we've managed to have a very clean start, which is a rarity really around here.
Betul Max. Untuk turn yang pertama tiada apa-apa insiden yang massive yang berlaku. Sekarang kita berada di bawah jembatan sebenarnya ni. Untuk memasuki jembatan depan sekarang. Itu dia. Dan Aiman Haziq cuba untuk melarikan diri daripada low wicket. Kedua-dua pelumba ini mempunyai gap masa yang sangat rapat pada sesi qualifying sebentar tadi. Itu dia Nicholas Tan dikejar rapat oleh Eddie Liu. Eddie Liu dah mengganas sekarang Max.
Yeah, there's only one speed when it comes to Eddie Liu, and that's absolutely flat out there. You can see the gap between himself and Nicholas and Muazzam and Jespen there. Also getting very, very aggressive there. Between those two fights, the one between Muazzam and Jespen and between Nicholas and Eddie, I think officially they had a gap of 0 because I think Eddie especially was pushing Nicholas out of the corner there. Now, of course, they're going to drive with a little bit more circumspect care around here. Not only is this a very, very difficult racetrack, but they've got to make the cars last for an hour and a half, 90 minutes worth of racing, which I believe is a normal football match.
Ya, 90 minit adalah sama dengan perlawanan bola sepak yang kita biasa tengok EPL lah apa semua. 90 minit. Itu tak apa Max. Tapi kita kena tahu yang ini perlumbaan ini ada damage on, ada tire wear, ada fuel rate.
Yes.
Jadi kesemua itu perlu diambil kira. Kalau kita push kereta 90 minit and then kita buat simple silly mistake, kita boleh ada mechanical damage
Yeah. Itu boleh dijadikan benda yang agak susah juga.
Betul.
But in any case, the biggest challenge going around this track here, apart from avoiding any of the mistakes there, is going to be keeping your car in one piece. Now, with testing, when I did a little bit of testing there earlier on in the race, as you can see there, Feng Rong saying, "Go Jesmond." Absolutely, he's doing quite well for himself, up into fourth position right now. He's fighting with Wicket Low for that second place in the championship. He has to be ahead of Wicket Low, and Wicket Low has to score, I believe, less than 4 points in order for Jesmond to take home that opportunity there, but it looks like it's going to have to push quite hard. But it's very early days right now in the race. But like I was saying, when we did some testing internally, and I drove the car for about 90 minutes here, for the length of the race there, Ryan getting the car very sideways indeed. Unbelievable stuff there.
Wow.
I think he had terminal understeer and went for the handbrake. It looks so neatly done. I suspect that's quite a bit of toge driving skills there from Ryan there. Eddie, meanwhile, he's actually overtaken 2 cars in 2 laps. He's managed to get past Nicholas there. He's managed to get past William. He's managed to get past Kamal Ali, and he's now up into 6th place. He is a man on a charge.
Oh, itu dia. Seperti yang kita tahu di perlumbaan yang sebelum ni, yang mana di round yang ketiga, Eddie ni telah pun mendapat tempat yang pertama, Max. Jadi di round ini aku rasa saya rasa dia lebih confident untuk memandu, dan dia pun dah dapat that feels of this car.
Yeah.
Suzuka ni bukan satu track yang mudah. Satu-satu tempat yang paling saya tak suka untuk Suzuka ni, inilah dia. Section yang paling
The Casio Triangle.
Oh God.
The Casio Triangle, one of the hardest places on the planet to brake for.
And I don't know why dalam buat benda tu, guys. Oh my God. Kok untuk yang tak pernah drive, dia mungkin rasa benda tu macam cool. But kalau kau pernah drive, do you know how hard it is to make sure that kau ada tak hilang time dekat section 2 sahaja?
Yeah.
It's really hard, bro.
Believe it or not, this track, since its inception in 1962, has only been changed 3 times in terms of layout. The first change was at the Degner curves. It used to be one very long, very fast right-hander that hugged the outside wall before tightening at the end. But for safety reasons, they had to turn it into the double right that we know. Degner 1, Degner 2, going underneath the bridge there. Of course, uniquely, the figure of 8 layout has always remained the same. So they've always had a bridge here. As you can see there, the racetrack goes underneath and then goes around the back half of the circuit and comes back up over the top of itself. Figure 8 layout is very, very rare in motor racing. But like I was saying, only 3 changes. One of them was at Degner. The other one, the latest one, was in 2005 when they reprofiled 130R after a spate of huge accidents. They wrote off, I believe, 4 Formula 1 cars there because they could take them flat out, but only if the planets were aligned, the steering angle was right, and you ate the right breakfast. But unfortunately, too many people tried it without doing all of those things. And of course, the final and biggest change was Casio Triangle. Casio Triangle was put there because, especially on the bikes, it was getting very dangerous, and for the cars as well. The Formula cars used to go from the back, from Spoon Curve, absolutely flat out through 130R, through the final corner and into the braking zone for turn 1, and there's just not enough braking area and critically not enough room to open up the sand trap to make it safe. So that's why the Casio Triangle is there, but it is an iconic sight in Formula 1 championships.
Max, dia cuma perlu the whole way yang kau cerita pasal Casio Triangle. They only need to brake earlier.
Yeah. But the problem is that when your brakes fail,
okay, you die.
Yep. Dan masalah lagi satu tu kan, barrier kat situ, dia tak boleh gerak keluar. They can't move that barrier because that is the actual limit of the land that Suzuka owns. So they are just backed into a space there. But it's amazing to me is that this is one track that only had 3 changes and they're very, very minor.
Betul. Kalau kita ikutkan untuk track-track yang ikonik ni, biasanya telah pun ditukar beberapa kali.
Yeah.
Track ini telah pun digunakan semenjak tahun 1950 something ke 60 something. 62. Ya. So untuk more than 60 years actually, dia baru tukar 3 kali. So and then wow, punya change pun tak berapa significant.
Yeah.
Tapi betul macam Max kata tadi berkenaan dengan Casio Triangle tu, isu utama dia yang sebenarnya adalah flat out daripada Spoon Curve. That is the main issue. Sebab diorang akan flat out sampai ke ujung tau.
Yeah.
That was the whole area is actually, kalau kau bawa kereta ni, you can flat out.
Yeah.
Just lift sikit pun cukup.
Yep, just a little bit of a lift at 130R. But of course, with the challenge that they have right now, you'll see them braking a little bit more than usual. Not only is the track temperature very, very hot, which loses you grip, But the other change you'd see from what they would normally do in ideal circumstances is, of course, it's an endurance race. You take a lot out of the tires, going flat out, backing off, sliding the car through 130R and getting back on the throttle again without using the brakes. It's possible, but it wears the tires out a lot.
That's going to be a big issue sebab diorang kena make sure yang the whole tire will stand 45 minit and above. I mean like mungkin diorang kena tukar satu kali if the condition mengizinkan, keadaan mengizinkan, jadi mungkin diorang perlu tukar satu kali. Tapi jika keadaan tidak mengizinkan, it's going to be hard.
So yeah, just looking at the battle for the lead there, we've the running narrative throughout the course of this season is Ayman getting ahead, or Eddie Liu, for instance, getting ahead and pulling out a gap. This ain't happening today. Ayman is only 0.4 seconds ahead, 0.4 of a second ahead of Wicket Low, and it looks like Wicket Low is actually able to not only match the speed of Ayman through some of these corners, but he's actually exceeding it in some places there. So I think we might have a change for the lead here. It's very early days there, but you still would love to be at the front of the pack there. Less chance of accidents, less chance of anything else, and of course it just feels good leading the race at an early stage there. These drivers won't, I think, make any drastic maneuvers at this point, but they will definitely try their hardest to find a way around there and try and dictate their own pace at the front of the field.
Betul apa yang Max katakan tadi. Even last lap daripada low wicket sebenarnya telah melakukan catatan masa 2 minit 8.693 saat. 0.3 saat lagi laju daripada 0.3 saat lagi laju daripada Ayman Haziq sendiri. Jadi gapnya mungkin akan bertambah. Nampak gaya untuk sektor yang kedua dan sektor yang ketiga. Ayman Haziq mempunyai advantage di sektor yang kedua, tetapi berbalik kepada sektor yang ketiga, gapnya menurun kembali, Max.
Yeah, it looks like Ayman might have better brakes because there's a few very big braking zones there at the second sector there. You have the hairpin and you have quite a few other things as well. So of course, as we alluded to earlier, we do have a fantastic giveaway. We have a fantastic X50 Works Engineering eDrive 3 throttle controller for the most shares on our broadcast, with friends, family, relevant groups, non-relevant groups. Share it with your gardening club, share it with your doctor's club, share it with anyone who could possibly enjoy the racing you see here today. So that is going to be the top sharer will take home a eDrive 3 throttle controller. Now, as I talked about this product earlier on in the series, this is a brilliant product for a lot of these earlier cars with electronic throttles that have a little bit of throttle delay. If you ever tried to heel and toe one when you're doing a clubman event, or even if you're driving home from work and you just want the car to react smoothly with, you know, the early STI Imprezas, Evo 7s and Evo 8s have a similar problem. And the Campro engine in particular, and the X50 and X70 engines, also a little bit of that lag, which you really don't want. This is the product for you there. This will sharpen up the throttle response. You can actually control the throttle response, and it comes with a whole bunch of other features as well.
Max, aku sebenarnya tengah baca apa yang feature yang dia orang bawakan untuk eDrive 3 controller ni. Dia ada anti-slip function, Max.
Yeah.
Anti-slip tu anti lagi. Anti-slip tu kira macam traction control lah. Kira traction control tu macam power sikit, ada macam kurang. Tapi that's the basic. Bukan anti-slip, guys. Anti-slip tu makcik tengah tidur. I was wrong on that one. Nampaknya Ayman Haziq tidak mampu melakukan apa-apa. Terpaksa akur dengan keputusan yang mana low wicket kini berada di belakang beliau. 0.3 saat gap di antara Ayman Haziq dan juga low wicket. Adakah low wicket akan melakukan sesuatu yang drastik di awal-awal perlumbaan, yang mana perlumbaan masih lagi masa perlumbaan masih lagi siapa yang William Ho dan juga siapa di situ? Eddie Liu.
Oh no, that was a bad news there for Eddie Liu and Wicket Low. It looks like Sorry, and
William
Ho. Do apologize. William Ho and Eddie Liu. I'm just trying to put myself together again after that one. Coming into the braking zone there and tangling. That's something you see quite often. In fact, Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost had a very famous collision there, very similar to that, that decided the 1988 World Championship. Not joking when I say this track has a lot of history behind it, and also a lot of pitfalls, just like that braking zone over there. Meanwhile, I was just saying that Jesmond and Ryan fighting very close to together. I think Jesmond might be in danger of dropping a position there. You can see Ryan Lim is all over the back of Jesmond Tan there. He is not just thinking about overtaking. I think he's looking for a place to try and pass. Coming down towards the Degner curves, it's definitely very, very difficult to try and get past here, although I have seen it done in Super Formula and in Formula Nippon as well. Coming up towards the hairpin here now, this is prime overtaking opportunity. Jesmond trying to get as much of a drive out there as possible to gap Ryan. This is going into tactical battle mode right now. Jesmond running a little bit wide there, and Ryan getting it just a little bit too far wide as well. No space so far, but now the braking zone for Spoon Curve. Anything can happen coming in through here, and it usually does. This corner is really very difficult because you have understeer coming in, and you can see there Jesmond with a big twitch on the car there. Halfway through the corner, he transitions from understeer to oversteer, and if you're not careful, you can really mess up your line going through there. But it looks like Jesmond had to drive the sector of his life there to try and keep Ryan behind him. I don't know how long he can keep that up.
Untuk Suzuka Suzuka apa? Untuk Suzuka track ni banyak overtake opportunities yang ada. Seperti di Spoon Curve, kebanyakan orang melakukan kesilapan yang sama di Spoon Curve. Itu dia low wicket. Low wicket makin merapat di antara dia dan juga Aiman Haziq. Cubaan untuk memintas daripada low wicket. Adakah dia berjaya melakukannya? Di turn yang pertama mengambil daripada dalam. Aiman Haziq berjaya memintas, tetapi Aiman Haziq cuba untuk mencari ruang memasuki semula ke dalam. Nampaknya tidak berjaya melakukan apa-apa di situ. Low wicket kini berada di posisi yang pertama. Eddie Liu dan juga William Ho, nampaknya kereta mereka tidak mampu di drive lagi, Max. Mungkin kerosakan agak kasar.
Yeah, this track is starting to take a lot of damage right now. Eddie Liu out of the race. William also out of the race. SM Fauzi also out of the race there. It's a pity to see them out of the race this early on. There's a lot of motor racing left. But that's the thing with endurance racing of any kind going through there. But I have to say, Weekend Low, I think that was a really, really smooth maneuver going into the first corner there. Both drivers giving each other plenty of space. They know there's a long race to go afterwards. But beautiful maneuver going into the corner there. You can tell that Weekend Low has got the braking set just right on his car.
Itu dia. Nampaknya Ryan Lim pun telah berjaya memintas Jesmond Tan di situ, Max. Sebentar tadi, tetapi kita tak dapat lihat di dalam skrin. Setelah beberapa kali cubaan dilakukan oleh Ryan Lim, kini Ryan Lim berjaya memintas dan Jesmond Tan, nak tak nak dia terpaksa akur dengan keadaan sekarang.
Yeah, so there you have it there. The finishing positions are starting to sort themselves out here. This is the battle for, believe it or not, 8th place. It looks like they're going as hard as they can right now. It's between 7th place, I do apologize, between Ikwan Nicholas and Asiding. Nicholas managing to overtake Asiding right now. Coming up towards the braking zone there. It's going to be very tricky coming through the corner. Ikwan, big sideways moment there. How did he keep that car on the track? Unbelievable bit of driving there from those two drivers there. This battle is, I think, going to go on all night long. Meanwhile, Muazzam Zairi there is just gotten very, very close to the back there. Jesmond Tan trying to go around the long way around to try and hold off Ryan Lim. Just about managing to keep that car ahead. Beautiful maneuver by both cars there. We've seen people overtaking on the inside and on the outside there, but Jesmond there again managing to get another position up there, but Ryan Lim's not going to keep that car behind for too much longer. Meanwhile, Muazzam is also getting very, very close to Aiman Haziq further up the field there. As you can see there, they're glued together, both running identical blue liveries there. Let's see if Muazzam can do anything through here. Again, this is another place where the exit out of Degner is absolutely critical. This 2-horse battle for the lead has just turned into a 3-horse battle for the lead. This is some of the best racing we've seen all season.
Nampaknya Aiman Haziq melakukan sedikit kesilapan, Max. Di lap yang sebelum ini dia melakukan catatan masa 2 minit 9.457 saat. Mungkin dia ada cuba untuk overtake Louis Kit tetapi tidak berjaya, dan itu telah mendatangkan orang kata apa, keburukan, disadvantage. Disadvantage kepada dia. Keburukan hold on now bunyi. Tak kena. Itu dia Muazzam Zairi, cubaan demi cubaan Muazzam Zairi dan juga Aiman Haziq. Sebenarnya gap di antara Muazzam Zairi dan Aiman Haziq tadi 0.1 sahaja, Max.
Yeah, they were very close to each other there, coming through the middle sector there. Aiman Haziq does appear to have found a bit of speed going through the center of the track. Not really the middle of the track, because it's literally geographically in the center of the track. Most tracks go around, this one goes in the next shape. But yeah, going around the final chicane there and on to the start-finish straight. Again, this could be it. 4/10 is a little bit far behind there, but the slipstream effect on these cars is rather large. They have a big frontal area there, so they can really close up if you're behind someone. You can really try and gain a bit of speed there going into turn 1 there as well, and into the S's. That is another critical part of the lap, because he spends so much time in the lap around the S's there. You can gain or lose a lot of time. I think Ayman's actually losing quite a bit of time here in comparison to Gaskun. Muazzam there in 3rd position, getting closer and closer to the back of that car, and you can see the speed, the pace that Muazzam is carrying through that section there. I think that is what's keeping him in the hunt for the top podium positions.
Aiman Haziq berada dalam kedudukan yang agak kritikal sekarang, Max, kerana dia cuba dan mencuba untuk membuat defensive maneuver, yang mana ini akan memberi keburukan, not again, disadvantage kepada dia. Kesulitan, yes, kesulitan kepada dia untuk mendapatkan low wicket di hadapan. Gap di antara dia dan low wicket semakin lama semakin bertambah. Kini telah pun bertambah 0.3 saat. 1 saat lah dah. Mana nak cakap 1.0, ya 1.1 saat lebih kurang.
Yeah.
So gap yang sebenarnya tadi cuma 0.8 kini bertukar menjadi 1 something, Max. So
and there again, I've said this again and again and again. If you go around battling with someone, you just give the guy ahead that much more of a chance to go further ahead. Because when you're in a battle, you have to compromise. You can't go as fast as possible through the corners. You have to cover off the guy behind you. You have to go off the racing line. And when you go off the racing line, you slow down. So that's the biggest problem with Ayman, especially. Muazzam just wants to get that position. He wants to be in 2nd position and then think about going to 1st. Meanwhile, Jasmine apparently did make a bit of a mistake there going into Spoon. So that little back and forth there between Jasmine and Nicholas now is just going back and forth quite a bit right now. He's actually dropped down 2 positions there, so he was actually fighting with Ryan, but Kamal Ali and Jasmine just about keeping it ahead of Nicholas Tan there. So pretty difficult decision for him through there. Meanwhile, Ikwan and Asidik now going side by side, coming into 130. This is going to end spectacularly for both of these drivers. Through the corner there. How did they find the space to go through that bend? You know how terrifying it is to try and overtake going through there, but these guys are absolutely fearless.
They don't care. I was like, okay, aku just tekan je. Kalau lepas, kalau tak lepas, that's it. That's my race. There goes my race. Okay, 1 jam 7 minit masa lagi. Maknanya kita ada lebih kurang 67 minit lagi masa. 23 minit telah pun berlalu. Kini dapat kita saksikan low wicket berada di posisi yang pertama, Aiman Haziq di posisi yang kedua, Muazzam Zairi di posisi yang ketiga, diikuti Ryan Lim, Kamal Ali, Jasmine Tan masing-masing menduduki posisi keempat, kelima dan juga keenam. Nicholas Tan, Ikwan dan Asidik masing-masing berada di posisi ke-7, 8 dan 9. Dan seperti yang kita ketahui sebentar tadi, gap di antara Muazzam Zairi dan juga Aiman Haziq nampaknya semakin membesar. Pull away. Yeah.
Pull over is when you have to park the car when you break it.
It's not pull over. Itu lain, different Omar Haziq pula. I don't want to say anything right now. Oh my god, itu dia. Sekarang Al-Siddiq masih lagi cuba untuk dapatkan Ikhwan. Korang tahu tak, Al-Siddiq dengan Ikhwan ni race untuk tempat ke-8 dan tempat ke-9. Tapi the way dia orang race, macam race dekat, this is the fighting for position tau.
Yeah.
Dia macam, okay, aku sekarang ni, kalau ni aku masuk podium. This is how they race tu. Dia orang push dia orang punya self 100%. Kerana ini yang kita katakan dia punya semangat, racing spirit dia.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to these sort of drivers there, the critical thing between these two drivers and the way they race is that with a lot of drivers, they really just want to get out there in as big a stage as possible and just go and have a battle with someone. And that's the beauty with sim racing, is that you can always find someone the same level as you to battle with. Now, don't get me wrong, to be coming in 8th and 9th in this championship means you are very high up in terms of speed. It's all Malaysia. They're going side by side, coming out of 130R this time. Let's see if Ikhwan can get it, or is it going to be Al-Siddiq? Al-Siddiq goes behind Ikhwan there in that little battle there. Amazingly, despite them trying to outbrake each other, they managed to make it through the chicane, which is not normally something that happens. Coming down towards the start-finish straight there. Look at that, Al-Siddiq looking to the left, looking to the right. Ikhwan tries to close him off there, but he's going to go side by side. Coming down towards turn 1 there. The big squeeze coming into the braking zone there. They touch going around the outside there. There's a big touch there, and Al-Siddiq gets the car very sideways indeed there. Unbelievable. Rubbin's racing, guys, and these two guys are rubbing hard.
Diorang kalau in this position, Max, walaupun kita berpeluh-peluh, tetapi kita ada satu keseronokan yang berbeza. Dia bagi adrenalin yang berbeza, yang mana walaupun kita berada di posisi, macam Max kata tadi, berada di posisi ke-8 dan ke-9 bukan sebab diorang slow. Dalam race ni ada 68 peserta yang cuba untuk mengambil bahagian, dan 25 peserta sahaja 20 peserta sahaja yang terpilih, dan kini mereka berada di tempat yang ke-8 dan ke-9. Maknanya dia orang tak slow, Max.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not the slowest guys out there. In fact, they can be ranked as some of the fastest AC drivers in Malaysia to be able to get that sort of pace coming into this series. We can see that Ikhwan and Al-Siddiq, they're pushing each other still very hard indeed. This looks like the battle for the World Championships at this point, going around this track here. But the best thing about this is that this is what this racetrack does best. Touring car racing, absolutely flat out around long sweeping curves there, with plenty of opportunities to overtake, even though the track is quite narrow. That's what people love about Suzuka. It's why when you talk to a lot of Formula 1 drivers, they absolutely adore this place.
Betul, Max. Untuk perlombaan seperti ini, yang mana Al-Siddiq dan juga Ikhwan, sekali, wow,
going into 130R there, unbelievable stuff.
They never stop, Max.
Is he going to try and do it again there? They touch going around the outside there. How did they keep control of their cars? It's going to be a braking battle now, again coming through there. Again, Ikhwan manages to keep the car ahead, but he gets sideways, and it looks like Al-Siddiq's managed to get his car into the lead of that battle there. Ikhwan just going 2 kilometers an hour too fast into Casio Triangle, and that is the difficulty but with that track. If the car can only go around there at, say, 90 kilometers an hour, it'll only go around there in 90 kilometers an hour. If you go around there in 92 kilometers an hour, you go off the track.
Yeah, tak boleh lebih sikit pun. Well, bila kita cakap berkenaan dengan off the track, not because of oversteer, but most of the time because of understeer. That is the main issue of this car actually, especially untuk kereta-kereta yang berpacuan tayar hadapan, ataupun kita panggil front wheel drive, tayar pacuan hadapan. Kereta pacuan hadapan.
Pacuan tayar hadapan.
Tak. Kereta pacuan hadapan.
Okay. Saya pun tak tahu sebenarnya.
Aku rasa kereta pacuan hadapan.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Jadi dia ada, orang kata, dia punya understeer issue yang besar. Sebelum ni kita dah buat MyV pun ada isu yang sama.
Pacuan roda hadapan.
Pacuan roda, bukan tayar.
Kita dah dapat confirmation. Baru sikit lagi aku nak cakap konfirmasi. Konfirmasi ya. Kita dah dapat confirmation. We got a confirmation there from our pit lane correspondent Umar Aziz. Pengesahan. Wow. Dia dah boleh buka tab tu. Dia tinggal tunjuk tab tu. He's actually held his tab up there and he's showing us the Google search results.
Well, nasib baik sekarang ni masih kita berada dalam zaman Google dictionary and so on, right?
I tell you one thing though, every race team on the planet needs a Umar Aziz. That man has been so useful throughout the course of this season that we might be able to actually get talking to him later on in the race, or around closer towards the end there. We might be able to find a headset there so you guys can have a chat with him later on in the race there. But brilliant stuff indeed. So far in this race though, these guys aren't really pulling away that far. I mean, they are pulling away from Ryan Lim, but they're not pulling away from each other. They're still 0.6 seconds.
Well, gap di antara Louis Kit dan juga Aiman Haziq sekarang ni makin bertambah. Tapi kita nak tahu juga apa strategi yang akan digunakan oleh Aiman Haziq untuk pit lane strategi. Kita mungkin akan melihat pit lane dalam masa 15 ke 20 minit daripada sekarang, Max.
I would say maybe a little bit longer. I think around 30 minutes to go would be ideal. So if you're able to keep the car going there, as you can see there, Umar Aziz is saying none of the crew in the pit lane right now want to tell him anything about their fuel or tire status. They want to keep that super secret, top sneaky as we like to call it in the industry. But yeah, in ideal conditions, you want to run this car for about an hour before you have to pit. So there'll be a big flurry of pits near the end there and a full-on sprint race towards the finish. But the conditions are not ideal. The track isn't perfect. The temperature is very, very hot there. How long can they go on a set of tyres? How long can they stretch their fuel?
Itu pun menjadi satu isu juga, Max. Berapa lama sebenarnya diorang berjaya untuk mengelakkan diorang punya tayar daripada slip, orang kata slip tergelincir.
Yeah.
Wow. Itu dia, masa telah pun tinggal 60 minit sahaja lagi. 59.50 saat di clock time. Okey lah, boleh. Di race time di atas tu, masa perlombaan, kita saksikan di race tower tu. Race tower, menara perlombaan tu. Itu timing yang ditentukan sekarang. So betul lah, race tower. Janganlah gelak.
Kita
Aku jadi cikgu BM sekarang. Sekarang ni buat Azam Zairi semakin menghampiri nampak je. Tetapi Louis Kit dia punya gap dah jauh, jadi dia berada di hadapan dengan selesa. Dan saya tak rasa ada apa-apa isu untuk dari segi dari segi traffic untuk malam ini.
So there you go. There's your race update from the hour mark there, courtesy of the Oxford Fajr Dictionary.
Oh my god, that was good.
I was in tears on the floor. Sorry. In any case, with an hour gone there, Wicket Low is in first position there. Aiman Haziq is in second place and Muazzam is in third. The critical thing is that Wicket Low definitely wants to go and test that race car, because that is the battle. He's there. There's 5 points between himself and Jesman Tan. Jesman all the way down in 6th place. It's looking very hard for him to try and keep that position right now. Speaking of the championship, here's how it stands now. Aiman Haziq is our confirmed champion in terms of points. He can't mathematically be caught at 28 points right now. Wicket Low is second with 16, but here's the interesting part. Jesman Tan is third with 11 points. Nicholas Tan Wei Lun is in fourth with 10 points. And so is Kamal Ali and Eddie Liu. So 3 drivers with 10 points in between them. It's going to be interesting to see how that close battle is going to resolve itself going through the course of the race there. Wicket Low now, meanwhile, let's go on board with the driver cam of this driver there, repping SSAD. There we were talking there about driver training options in Malaysia. We have a lot of driver training schools based out of Sepang there, and SSAD is one of them. Rashid Ramlan, good friend of the series and good friend of us here at Adrenaline Impact, is I think well known for his driver training and driver coaching skills there. But you can see there with Wicket Low, he's got a very interesting driving style, almost reminiscent of front-wheel drive kit car drivers like Gilles Panizzi or Jean-Luc Terrier or people like that. Very, very deliberate steering inputs, but with aggression to try and get the car to turn in Watch him as he goes through Degner there. Relatively quick on the steering wheel, hard on the brakes, and then he tosses the car in. Very, very forceful with the steering wheel, but with smooth throttle application to make sure the car tracks the line properly.
You know what's the problem with that, Max? I got scolded by doing that. No, Woody, that is not the right way. Woody, that is not the right way. Okay, sebab apa kita cakap macam tu? Sebab bila kita push, bila kita aggressive turn dan kita tak membuat setup yang betul, kita akan ada isu dengan understeering, Max. Yeah, that's going to be a big issue. And the braking and cara kita membrake dan juga menekan pedal minyak ataupun twill minyak akan memberi kesan yang berbeza.
I mean, the secret is with when it comes to being right on the limit of adhesion is that you can trade one for the other. You can be super smooth on the steering, like say a Hamilton or a Jensen Button, very smooth on the steering, but you have to counteract that with the throttle. Or you could drive like say Schumacher used to drive, very aggressive on the steering. You could see him, even Alonso, his fierce rival, would move the steering wheel quite aggressively, but when you hear the throttle application, it's very smooth.
Yep.
So you have to balance it one with the other, and that's when you're talking about being right on the limit. If you're anywhere below that, you have to be super smooth to try and get the speed out of these types of cars there. But when you're on the ragged edge, it's interesting to see what the habits are at the very edge of grip. Now you can see here that's Muazzam, and again he's very, very by the book, very, very precise. You'll see his hands will never go past 90 degrees on the steering wheel. That's his rough estimation of how much steering wheel he would need, how much steering input he would need to drive this racetrack effectively. And you can see it's working quite well. He's right behind our championship leader and our champion-elect, Ayman Haziq, who's not a slow driver by any stretch of the imagination. But you can see here, the other thing that Muazzam likes to do is he likes to rotate the car under brakes to try and cancel out any understeer he might have going into the corner. It's not always effective, but when it does work, it really gives him a huge advantage in these slow speed corners with his car.
Betul, Max. Perlumbaan yang panjang seperti ini, bila kita mempunyai teknik braking yang betul, dia akan memberi kita advantage sebenarnya dari segi penggunaan tayar, dari segi penggunaan minyak dan juga orang kata pembawaan berat untuk sesebuah kereta itu sendiri, ataupun kita panggil sebagai weight transfer. Kita bagi sebagai weight transfer. Itu dia Nicholas telah pun memasuki pit. Oh, dia memakai baju Speed Tavern nampaknya di situ. Saya nampak pun logo ST kat situ. Jangan tipu.
So of course Encik Budi pun boleh kirakan orang besar juga lah dalam Speed Tavern ni. Ada banyak juga driver Speed Tavern yang boleh dikirakan crazy about AC kan?
Ya, banyak. Tapi lepas PKP masing-masing semua busy. Jadi ya, kita jarang nampak muka-muka masing-masing. Macam Nicholas, Ryan masih lagi bermain bersama. Brandon dah hilang tak tahu ke mana. Afiq dah sibuk dengan ACC.
Brandon saya dah jumpa. He's in Forza. Kita dapat Nicholas, Ryan and myself managed to racun Brandon and get him into Forza.
Bought Forza. Okay, dia beli
yesterday.
Oh sure. Oh sure. Ya, because ya, seperti yang kita tahu sekarang ni Steam tengah pun mengadakan Steam Summer Sales.
Yep.
Ataupun jualan musim panas untuk Steam pada bulan ini sehingga ke 7 Julai ya. Jadi kepada korang yang nak beli game nak beli AC, nak beli apa, beli sekarang. Tengah sale, ada sale 70%, 50%, up to 70%. Orang Melayu kata up to 70%. Diskaun yang menanti anda. Steam sale sehingga 7 Julai.
Yeah, there, and you can also see the 80% off on a set of Corsair. It's only $70. The base pack there. Let's have a look at the Ultimate Edition.
19
ringgit for the Ultimate Edition. So absolutely everything you ever need to join our races, 19 ringgit. We'll have quite a few more seasons going towards the end of the year there as well, and I think there's discounts on iRacing as well, so we'll look for those two series going forward. And of course there's discounts on all sorts of other games as well. I saw Rust was off and the 2K series was also quite a lot
Lucky
of.
us, Ras tak ada e-sport scene. Kalau Ras ada e-sport scene, we do Ras.
We probably only do Rust just quietly.
Nampaknya untuk iRacing subscription punya price menurun sehingga, kalau tak salah saya, 40%, yang mana berharga RM15 sebulan. So boleh beli setahun terus lah. Jangan beli sebulan-sebulan, beli setahun terus.
Yeah, and of course Forza is really cheap. Forza Horizon 5 there. We have a big community, surprisingly, of Forza Horizon players that grew up. To be honest with you, I think Nicholas and Ryan is going to blame us for not winning out here. Meanwhile, on the racetrack there, the battle between second and third place is still going on. They're now going side by side down the main straight here as we're talking about the Steam Summer Sale there. They're going to come into the braking zone here. Oh, look at that. I think Ayman Hazik's just going to drop out another position there as Muazzam moves up into second place. Ayman goes wide, very wide there, giving the position there to Muazzam. Look at the pace Muazzam has. Instantly, he's already 0.8 of a second ahead there. It looks like Gaskun there was being held back by Ayman Hazik.
Wow, betul Max. Nampaknya gap terus tinggi Super position. Ketepatan yang G2 daripada Gaskun kini memberi manfaat kepada dia dalam perlumbaan kali ini. Itu yang dapat kita saksikan, dan nampaknya dia masih lagi menjauhkan jarak di antara dia dan juga Ayman Hazik. Mungkinkah Gaskun akan berjaya mengejar low wicket di hadapan? Lebih kurang 5 saat, tetapi dia boleh tengok low wicket di hadapan. Dia nampak kereta tu dan dia ada, orang kata, the determination of the visual, of the optic.
Yes.
Untuk mengejar kereta di hadapan.
The determination of the visual of the optic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that printed on a t-shirt. That's brilliant. In any case, there, like Budi was saying there, like you said, it's only 5 seconds and it's 45 minutes left in the race. We're still 4 minutes away from a full X50 Series race normally. So we've already gone through basically half, more than half race distance at this point.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, 45 minutes is the halfway point. We're at 49 minutes. We're almost halfway through the race there. There's another halfway through the race again. Now, when Muazzam overtook Ayman, it was 5.1 seconds, the gap. Now it's 4.9 seconds. So the gap is coming down. It's going to come down very, very slowly. But there is still a chance that Muazzam might be able to catch wicket low towards the end of the race. But of course, that's not forgetting the pit stops that are going to happen fairly soon.
Let me tell you this, Max. Biar saya memberitahu awak perkara ini. Best lap untuk Muazzam Zairi adalah sebenarnya 2 minit 8.171. Yang mana best lap untuk low wicket sekarang 2 minit 8.259 saat. Jadi dia orang dalam keadaan dalam race pace yang sama. Dan last lap untuk low wicket sebenarnya 2 minit 8.479, yang mana untuk Muazzam Zairi 8.549, masih dalam race pace yang sama, Max.
Yeah.
Untuk kedua-dua kereta.
So now we wait when it comes to the leaders there. It's going to be a challenge as to how, really it's a challenge of concentration, it's a challenge of trying to keep yourself consistent, and it's above all a challenge of trying to avoid mistakes, something that I think the both of us have slightly failed on.
I don't want to talk about that. Well, kalau kita tengok daripada series dalam series ni, daripada round yang pertama, daripada pusingan yang pertama sehingga ke pusingan yang ketiga, kebanyakan daripada driver does make a silly mistake, dan itu memberi impak yang berbeza dalam perlumbaan-perlumbaan yang lain. Yang kini kita dapat saksikan Muazzam Zairi flying malam ini dengan gap di antara dia dan juga Ayman Hazik masih lagi tidak berubah 1 saat, tetapi nampaknya low wicket telah pun menjauhkan jarak di antara dia dan juga Muazzam Zairi. Adakah Muazzam Zairi melakukan kesilapan sebentar tadi, ataupun dia masih lagi sibuk untuk mengekalkan posisi, yang mana dia membuat manuver yang agak defensif supaya Ayman Hazik tidak mendapat apa-apa keuntungan daripada kesilapan yang dilakukan oleh Muazzam Zairi.
Yeah, it does look to be the case there. Muazzam dropping back quite a bit now. Ayman Hazik gaining quite a lot through there. I wonder if Muazzam's either made a mistake or has decided to back off to try and keep the tyres fresh underneath him. Again, this is something we saw previously in the previous round. You can overheat the tyres, and when you're in that tyre overheating situation, the only real choice you have is to back off and try and cool those tyres again. And that's going to be very difficult when you have Ayman Haziq right behind you, desperate to get that position back.
Dan perkara itu menjadi lebih sukar apabila keadaan track yang sebenarnya sekarang ni berada dalam orang kata temperature yang sangat tidak mengampunkan, iaitu 43 darjah Celsius, dan cuaca kini menunjukkan suhu 35 darjah Celsius ya untuk suhu persekitaran. Jadi ini akan memberikan impak yang berbeza dalam pemanduan mereka pada petang ini. Semakin lama mereka drive, semakin panas track itu menjadi. Ini bukan hipotesis sains Okay, ini adalah yang sebenar. Inference, hypothesis.
Yeah, so there you have it. A little bit of science there. Hypothesis in English.
Hypothesis.
Something like that. But yeah, the critical thing is the track temperature is going up, which means the tire wear is starting to go up as well. The tires are going to get more worn out as the race goes on. And with the air temperature so high, the engines are running a little less efficiently. So in Assetto Corsa, they do take in things like air temperature and stuff like that to calculate the total distance traveled on any unit of fuel. So as the track temperature rises, it's less efficient for these turbocharged engines. They're trying to keep themselves cool here. So they are actually going to be using more fuel going through the end here. So I think you're going to start seeing some drivers back off on the race pace a little bit just to try and make that pit window as big as possible. Because the ideal situation is either you come in early and outlast everyone and do the undercut, or you wait till the last possible second before going into the pits, overcutting everyone, coming out of the pits with a fresh set of tyres and a big gulp full of fuel, and push as hard as possible in order to try and get the car ahead.
Well, untuk yang cadangan yang pertama yang Max katakan tadi, yang mana pit in early ataupun masuk ke pit lane awal dan keluar pada saat yang tepat yang mana mereka untuk melakukan undercut, itu agak sukar berlaku kerana pemanduan yang dapat kita saksikan, orang kata average pemanduan untuk kesemua pemandu sekarang ni adalah 209. Jadi untuk dia mengejar low wicket di hadapan tu agak sukar. Tapi untuk dia melakukan orang kata run out yang cadangan yang kedua yang Max kata tadi, itu mungkin boleh membuahkan hasil. Tapi ya, kita mampu memberikan cadangan mereka yang memilih apakah situasi yang paling bagus untuk mereka. Jadi untuk yang tak tahu, setiap race team biasanya mempunyai seorang crew chief yang mana dia akan memberitahu apa yang perlu mereka lakukan. Tetapi untuk race-race seperti ini, driver kita seorang je. Okay, at most dia orang dalam Discord ramai-ramai berbual sambil drive, because this is a really long race.
Yeah.
So dia orang akan duduk dalam Discord mungkin 3-4 orang and then berbual. Orang Melayu kata talk sing song, you know.
So yeah, that's the thing. My sort of suggestion to Muazzam, if he's going to go through the race here, is actually to pit early, because he is losing pace right now in comparison to Wicket Low. So the more time he spends going out there and pushing as hard as he can, the less he's going to gain out of that situation. I think if he goes into the pits early, gets himself on a fresh set of tyres, gets out there, gets up to speed, and to a speed where he can actually start catching Wicket Low and overtaking some of the cars that were behind him before that, he could get into a situation where Wicket Low won't have enough gap to pit and come out ahead of Muazzam. But then again, the risk there is if he gets caught up in a battle between, if he comes in now, he'll be behind either Kamal or Jesman in the pits, maybe not definitely ahead of Asidik, but he's going to have to fight his way through Jesman and Kamal at least before he can expect all the rest of them to go into the pits. So at least 2 drivers that he'll have to fight there. So that's going to be the tricky part in this part of the race there. Whereas if he went late, he can just try and keep that car going for as long as possible until the tires are on the canvas and there's about a teacup worth of fuel in the fuel tank before he dives into the pit lane, puts in 5 liters of fuel or a really small amount of fuel, fresh set of tires, low tire pressures, and just do qualifying laps. It will be a very spectacular end to the race, and it also has its own risk in that you have to do everything right at the last minute. But it can work out. It's the big gamble. What does he do now?
Oh, betul Max. Ini dua cadangan macam saya katakan tadi, cadangan yang diberikan oleh Max ni betul dan tepat dalam situasi-situasi yang mereka sedang lalui sekarang. Cuba yang memberi perbezaan antara cadangan yang pertama dan cadangan kedua, apakah sebenarnya yang mereka mampu lakukan. Jika mereka melakukan cadangan yang kedua, jadi itu adalah high risk high reward punya kerja, yang mana semakin tinggi risiko, semakin tinggilah ganjaran. Tetapi kalau dia punya ganjaran tu dapat sedap tu, dia kira menang nombor 1 tu. Dia punya itulah. Tapi kalau dia tak dapat, well, it's going to be a different story.
Yeah, that is going to be the difficult situation that they find themselves in right now, going through. For those of you who just joined us, 40 minutes to go in the race. There, an hour and 20 minutes have passed, right? Yeah. Math, it's hard sometimes. An hour and 20 minutes have passed, 40 minutes left in the
only 50 minutes passed.
50 minutes have passed. That's what I wondered.
This is 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's a 90-minute race, not a 2 hour.
Not a 2 hours race.
That's why I've got myself in there right now. Before we get banged in through there, first of all, let's have a look at the live viewer giveaway. We have a fantastic X50 Works Engineering eDrive 3 throttle controller for the most shares on our broadcast. So share it with your friends, family, relevant groups, irrelevant groups. Share it to your joke group. Share it to everyone you possibly can. The most amount of shares will take home a Works Engineering eDrive 3 throttle controller. This is fantastic stuff. There it has 3 different modes that you can set up to suit your driving style. So you have a power mode when you're doing clubby events, or if you're having a nice spirited drive. You have an eco mode to try and fuel save a little bit, and you have normal mode where you can really optimize the throttle response to what you want it to be for your daily use. It also has the anti-slip function, drag acceleration mode. So if you're into drag racing, I know a few of the drag racers here would love to have a way to control their throttle for launches and stuff like that. So there is a drag accelerate mode as well, and an anti-theft function.
Kira kalau orang curi tak boleh nak start kereta.
Dia ada dia punya trick lah. So there you go. Jasmine Tan is now into the pits there. I believe this is the start of the refuel and the rebuild as well. Jasmine Tan there now in the pits right now, getting a few fixes, and like Budi said there's a few scratches up the front of the car there.
Max, aku ada soalan. Saya ada soalan yang perlu saya tanyakan kepada Max. What do you think about dia punya fuel ratio yang diorang akan isi dalam pit lane? I mean, kalau contoh kata 30 liter mungkin mengambil masa 30 saat. Tapi kalau dia isi 10 liter, dia mungkin mengambil masa 10 saat. So adakah itu akan memberi peluang dan ruang untuk mereka orang kata chance untuk mereka menaiki tangga ataupun posisi?
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a chance there because the less time you spend in the pit lane, the better your chances are. Another man with his pulse on the situation there down in the pits, our pit lane reporter Umar Aziz, in ear and live right now. Good evening, Umar.
Good evening.
So yes, Umar, what do you think about the fueling situation? What is going to be the best way for these guys to get out of the pits?
Well, we asked the guys in the pit lane, but nobody seems to want to share the numbers, whether they're changing tires or not. We see that the track temp is still at 43 degrees Celsius. They were struggling in the beginning, but I think they're finding the consistency and the rhythm at the moment.
So mungkin saat-saat ni banyak member-member di pit lane dah start panggil diorang punya driver untuk melakukan mungkin ada sedikit repair ataupun apa, kerana yalah dah lebih 45 minit kan.
Ya betul. Tapi tidak terlalu banyak insiden yang berlaku tapi sangat menduka citakan kepada mereka yang dah DNF daripada race ni. Tadi Eddie dan William ada dekat chicane terakhir tu. Sangat menduka citakan apa yang berlaku pada mereka tu.
Itu gangbang, bam gitu.
Itu
gangbang, apa nama dia? Tibun.
Ya, tapi tengok macam touch yang tak terlalu kuat. Tapi dua-dua tewas terciduk.
Mungkin dia punya suspension problem tau. Bila suspension problem, dia akan memberi impact yang berbeza dalam perlumbaan yang panjang macam ini.
Betul, especially kalau track macam ni kita perlukan banyak flow, kita perlukan that rhythm, and especially endurance, kita perlukan consistency yang sangat tinggi. Walaupun best lap kita tak berlaju, tak apa. Tapi semua lap yang kita lalui ni, kita kena ada that consistency in terms of pace tu. Tekal. So maybe apa yang Muazzam boleh buat, kalau dia boleh maintain that consistency dengan pace yang dia ada, dia berpeluang untuk menjulang tangga nombor 1 tu.
Omar baru cerita pasal consistency, dan saya pun baru melihat data sheet yang berada di hadapan saya sekarang ni. Nampaknya Muazzam Zaidi tidak mempunyai that consistency right now, kerana timing yang seperti yang kita lihat, last lap dia 2 minit 9.269 saat. 0.7 saat beza daripada timing yang masa dia potong Aiman Haziq tadi. Mungkin ini dah tiba masa untuk dia pit dan melakukan sesuatu.
Ya, ni mungkin cara besar untuk dia melakukan pit in untuk dapatkan something. He needs something to try and get the pace back, because now I think he's losing too much pace in order to try and challenge Wicket Low. However, I think he's doing okay in terms of his battle with Ayman. It's perhaps time for him to make the biggest decision. Is he going to focus on trying to get the car ahead, or is he going to try and focus for the threat from behind? What do you think, Umar?
Untuk siapa ni?
Untuk Low dengan Muazzam.
Okay. Apa yang kita boleh mention kat sini, honorable mention untuk Wicket Low ni, dia punya pace hari ni memang sangat-sangat laju. Even Aiman tak dapat mengejar. Maybe Suzuka ni antara salah satu track favourite beliau, dan kita tengok lap time dia sendiri, dia tak nak turun lap time dia. Takat tu je.
Suzuka.
Suzuka.
Tapi tak setuju.
Tak setuju.
Hari ni tak setuju.
Hari ni tak setuju, hari ni panas. Tapi itu dia di antara Muazzam Zaidi dan juga Low Wicket. Gap mereka macam tak nak bergerak. Itu dia, Aiman Haziq memilih untuk pit. Adakah dia keluar pit, dia akan go fly with the flying colours?
Betul, kita tengah teropong kereta Aiman. Nampaknya kereta dia without a scratch hari ni.
Betul. Macam baru keluar car wash ni kereta ni.
Baru keluar kedai.
Itu memang trademark Aiman Haziq. There's not a single scratch on the car, not any damage. It's not even dirty as it's coming.
Salah, ni pakai PPF filter. letak coating ni. Ni takkan tak calah.
Tapi kita dapat tengok yang tak semua orang lagi yang dah pit. So maybe fuel yang dipakai berbeza-beza pada kereta masing-masing.
Mungkin fuel rate yang lain ataupun throttle application yang lain.
Yes.
That makes sense. Pada Omar, adakah fuel rate akan memberi impact yang besar dalam perlumbaan macam ni?
Itu depends lah. Kalau in the beginning stages tu, kalau dia di belakang dia follow dan dia menggunakan aerodynamic tu, dia boleh dia boleh save fuel di belakang opponent, dan itu boleh juga save kadang-kadang sehingga 2 ke 3 saat daripada time compare to. Tapi
untuk TCR punya aero agak kasar juga kalau betul. Nak ikut depan kira nak kena rapat betul lah.
Betul.
Sebab di TCR kan, kalau di F1 tu dia macam ada gap yang jauh sikit lah dan boleh diikut kan. Kalau tidak duduk dalam Vertex tu.
Dan masalah traffic juga sebab grid yang tidak berapa besar untuk last race kita ni, maybe tak membawa begitu banyak masalah kepada driver-driver kita hari ni.
Betul, seperti yang saya katakan tadi, traffic malam ni mungkin tidak akan menjadi isu. Mungkin sekali je kot dia orang akan jumpa trafik. Salah satu punca kenapa trafik tidak menjadi isu, perlumbaan malam ni tidak ramai yang dapat hadir. Satu. Yang kedua, sebenarnya track Suzuka ni panjang.
Yeah.
Betul.
Dia panjang.
Dan saya nak tambah yang ketiga. Dah 4 orang terciduk.
Betul.
Terkeluar.
Yang terciduk ni kita tak nak cakap apa sebab dia macam saya kata tadi, kalau kereta tu dia punya suspension rosak, dia punya engine dah memang tak boleh nak perform. Walaupun kita pergi masuk pit, well, it can't perform.
Yeah.
Betul. Tapi pejam selit dah tinggal 30 minit lagi race time. So siapa yang akan dapat bawa kereta untuk slot yang kedua? So Aiman Haziq dah memang confirm ya, betul Even kalau dia terciduk pun dia masih boleh bawa.
Dia masih boleh bawa, betul. Dia dah kira professional champion lah.
So sekarang kita antara yang tempat kedua yang kita nak tahu, Wicked Low lawan dengan Jasmine Tan dan Nicholas Tan dan Kamal Ali dan Eddie Liu.
Ramai. So Max boleh explain lagi sekali apa yang diorang akan buat nanti untuk sesi track session tu?
Okay, so the track session involves a full-blown test of a Neves 7 race car. Racing in the Asian Classic Car Challenge. It's been raced by everyone from a gentleman driver in the 50s to a driver making her debut at the age of 14. So quite a wide range of abilities and quite a wide age range that's driven this car. But the interesting thing about that car is that on its day, it's able to do a 2-minute 26-second lap around Sepang. That's the fastest we've managed to get so far out of the car, which is impressive considering it is a junior level car. So these guys are going to get a chance to drive something that's fairly quick because it's lightweight, race-tuned engine, all the rest of that sort of stuff there. But they're going to be run as if they were being tested and evaluated for entry into a professional race team.
Okay, sekarang ni Omar dan penonton-penonton mungkin tak tahu 2 minit 26 saat tu selaju mana di Sepang.
Laju untuk saya yang kurang not one of my best track Sepang 2.23 tu agak laju. 2.26 2.26 tu agak laju untuk kereta.
Kereta Putera tadi Evo 3 dia timing kat Sepang 2.25. Evo 3 400 horsepower.
Betul. Dan Putera juga masih racing yang baru
Masih racing yang baru. Kereta kalau kita ambil Seat Cupra tak silap saya, Seat Cupra tu 2 minit 20 saat ke 2 minit 6 berapa belas
dia kalau TCR depending on tire choice anywhere from 221 to 218 is the fastest lap time. But that's full qualifying lah. Itu memang
untuk race pace 2 minit 22 kalau tak silap.
Dan untuk track macam Sepang dia lebih kurang macam Suzuka. Dia memerlukan balance between good stability and handling and also top speed.
Problem dengan Sepang ramai yang tahu problem ni dan most of them cakap benda yang sama, which is problem Sepang sebenarnya it is a technical track. Tapi dia fast pace.
Yes, very very fast pace, and also the other tricky thing about their drive at Sepang is going to be the racing lines that they're going to have to adapt from. Now, of course, Aiman Haziq has done quite a bit on track. It'll be interesting to see here because I believe Aiman Haziq has raced on track with a car with a 4AG engine, which is what the Neves 7 will run for the test. 1600cc engine, about 160 horsepower, 500 kilo for the car weight, which is why it can be so fast. It's the difference between
500 kilo guys, lagi ringan daripada sebiji kancil.
Betul. Kita boleh try angkat tu budi tu 500 kilo. 2 orang tak, kita angkat depannya. Kita try angkat kita
kalau kancil kilo. Kalau kancil pun orang boleh angkat apa kan?
Kancil kalau ramai-ramai. Kita try lah angkat.
It is possible actually sometimes when I didn't get it right, putting the car on top of the high stand, kan kita ada high stand apa semua. Bila kita tak letak dengan cara susun dengan cara betul, kita boleh gerak je.
Jangan
but that is the difference lah. Itulah beza.
Kenapa dia boleh laju?
Fully purpose built race car bandingkan dengan road car yang dijadikan race car.
Betul.
And also considerably easier racing car to drive, right?
Yeah, it is fairly easy. Really? The youngest driver that drove the car was 14 years of age.
Same age as me lah. 40 years old.
14 lah, bukan 40. Macam ni pun kita boleh guna.
Tapi betul lah kan. Kalau kita tengok dia punya power to weight ratio dia.
Agak lebih. So lebih power to weight ratio sebenarnya lebih kurang macam power to weight ratio kereta Putera. Bukan kereta Putera, tapi kereta Evo 3 yang
Putera.
dibawa oleh Putera.
So dia make sense kenapa dia boleh buat timing yang macam tu.
The only difficulty with that car, ada satu je kesulitan dia sikit. There is no aerodynamics.
Dia kalau bawa tu kira angin kena muka macam gitu lah.
Kita ada satu wind deflector kat depan.
Ada wind deflector.
So kepala tu agak terkawal, but
tapi kena muka juga angin. Kira tak panas lah dalam tu Max. Saya sejuk.
Tak apa Budi, kalau dekat back straight dengan pit straight tu, kita tunduk lah. Laju sikit. Macam naik motor.
Betul lah angin ni.
Macam bawa Waisuki highway.
Waisuki pun boleh mah. Waisuki boleh.
bukan Waisuku.
Nanti Budi dengan Max akan ada ke buat coverage untuk mereka, kira benda ni benda yang baru kita bagi price
benda yang interesting. Sangat interesting sebenarnya
kan?
Sebab kebanyakan pelumba ataupun mereka-mereka yang berada dalam simulator punya sisi gelap simulator. Dan dalam scene simulator itu sendiri, mereka memang nak sangat memandu kereta secara profesional. Untuk di Sepang ataupun di mana-mana race yang ada. Tapi macam Putera kata tadi, dia punya cost dia untuk memula tu agak mahal kan. Jadi itu mungkin menjadi limit lah.
Betul. Abang Putera tadi cakap banyak benda yang perlu kira knowledge dan informasi tu awal-awal banyak yang kita kena serap dulu sebelum masuk track tu sendiri.
So there you have it. The race leader has gone into the pits right now. Wicked Low is in the pits and he's given up the lead to Muazzam there, who I think he's going late. Muazzam now officially, kita boleh cakapkan dengan secara rasmi, he is, I think, going on the latest strategy right now. So Wicked Low has fired his first round in the strategy battle. He's come in early. I think he's going to try and load the car up and make sure he's got no problems going towards the end there. And this is the interminable wait of a driver just waiting for a chance to get back out there. No matter how many times we've done pit stops, no matter how many times I've done pit stops in endurance races, you just sit there going, oh, come on.
He was like, dah siap ke belum? Belum okay.
Tapi memang santai betul lah tengok dia. Kita selalu time pit adalah macam stretching ke.
Macam gitu kan.
Ambil
air minum. Dia tak ada, dia macam dah belum? Belum, tak apalah.
Tunggulah. Boleh menang ni, boleh menang.
But he definitely has a good chance to drive that NIF actually. Dengan Max selalu cakap mathematically, secara matematikanya dia ada peluang untuk memenangi posisi tempat yang kedua untuk memandu kereta NIF 7. Nervous kereta tu?
Tak ada nervous kan?
Tak ada nervous.
Kita boleh
tengok section means light.
So kita boleh tengok apa yang berlaku, apa yang interesting time endurance ni. After kita pit tu, dia seolah-olah track dan kereta terus menjadi something yang baru. So kita kena mencari balik, kita kena feel for about 1 to 3 laps depend on your experience. Kita kena cari balik mana line yang betul, kat mana braking point. Mungkin ada yang bertukar ataupun weather yang berubah, track temperature.
Dan lagi satu dengan tyre baru, no matter how well you prepare the tyres with tyre warmers and running the tyres in before the start of the race, walau bagaimanapun, the tyres have to key into the track.
Betul. Dia memberi impak yang berbeza Dia kalau tyre tak masuk lagi dia lain.
So the surface of the tyre is very smooth when it comes out of the mold. When you get out on the racetrack, it actually takes a good 4 or 5 kilometers for the tyre to actually work its way and mold itself to the grit of the track, how big and small the stones are that are used in the aggregate. So it takes a while for the tyre to actually come alive and start working chemically.
We were talking about NIF 7. just now. So recently aku tengok satu video yang mana diorang buat Caterham, which is Caterham masuk tayar F1. And that video was hilarious.
Yep.
Dia kira kan dia kata kalau tayar tu kalau tak panas memang tak ada grip langsung.
Ya, betul. Ya.
Walhal itu tayar soft tau. Memang dia kata memang tak ada. He even bring out the blanket tu dekat jalan macam letak dekat parking macam tu lah.
Ya. Sebab dia terpaksa tayar tu dia ada working operating range. So working temperature. So bukan kalau kita overheat tayar, kita tahu benda tu tak optimal. Dia akan jadi tayar tu akan jadi slow, dia akan jadi slidey, dia akan jadi twitchy. Tetapi kalau tayar tu terlalu sejuk pun dia akan jadi slow. The chemicals in the tire really only come alive at that temperature. So tayar ni dia ada cara cengkam dia, cara dia grip tarmac, pegang tarmac tu one of two ways, mechanically dengan chemically.
So yang kira bila dia sejuk panas tu kira chemically lah.
Ya. Yeah. So dia akan tayar tu akan rasa macam glue
bila dia optimum.
Yeah. So whenever if you've ever had a chance of seeing a car come into the pits, have the wheels taken off the car, you can actually walk up, and obviously the tires are very, very hot. They're almost at 100 degrees Celsius. But if you give it a quick tap, the tire actually sticks to your hand.
Boleh scoop macam cream lah, is it?
Not that.
Oh, not that bad.
Not that bad, but it's tacky. It's like
thumbtack.
Not a thumbtack, like a
Post-it
note.
Oh, okay.
So it feels like a post-it note, the glued part of a post-it note, if you get it right. Obviously, if you get it wrong, it's either on the track blown up or melted.
So something interesting yang korang boleh tengok sekarang ni, Muazzam dah masuk pit dan nampak gaya macam dia dah berjaya undercut Wicked Low dan Aiman Aziz.
Yeah, dia dapat juga overcut. So that was
overcut.
interesting.
Undercut pula.
That was interesting. Now he has the ability. He's managed to get the gap between himself and Wicked Low low enough that he's managed to actually get out ahead of Wicked Low right now. Now here's the tricky part. 2.4 seconds, but he is on fresh set of tires. The tires haven't keyed in yet. It takes a couple of a good hot minute, 4 or 5 laps for him to try and get the tires working again. At that point, Wicked Low's tires are already up to temperature, already up to pressure, and going very, very hard. If Wicked Low wants to try and win this race, he's going to have to push very hard right now in order to counterattack Muazzam. But Muazzam's done a brilliant job there in making the late strategy work. 19 minutes to go in the race, and this has just gotten quite a bit more interesting. Who's it going to be towards the end? That's the secret. That's the thing we've got to ask ourselves.
Dia tak tukar tayar ke tak isi minyak?
Ada possibility dia tak tukar tayar. Tapi kita susah nak mendapat kepastian dekat satu urusan. So walaupun tak berapa banyak benda yang nak direportkan daripada pit lane ni, ada something yang menarik berlaku waktu Max berceritakan tentang tayar tadi. So saya minta izin meninggalkan Max dan Budi. Harap kita boleh join lagi untuk sesi pada masa yang akan datang.
Sesi pit talk.
Pit talk.
Lama. Aku dapat session untuk kau, Mai. Pit talk. Standby siap-siap.
Kalau ada race yang panjang-panjang kita buat pit talk.
Kita buat pit talk.
Yeah. Alright.
Kita kan mungkin ada endurance dia.
Yeah. So there you go. Special thanks there to Umar Aziz. Nanti kalau harap-harap nanti kita boleh berbincang.
Betul.
Dan tak sabar juga nak jumpa pemenang untuk sesi track di Sepang yang akan datang nanti.
Yeah.
Terima kasih.
Itu dia. Okay, ni Muazzam Zairi setelah pun keluar pit, telah pun meninggalkan pit tadi dan cuba untuk melarikan diri daripada low wicket di belakang. 1.9 saat gap di antara dia dan juga low wicket. Aiman Haziq di belakang, 2 saat di belakang low wicket. Siapakah di antara mereka bertiga yang bakal mengungguli perlumbaan pada malam ini? 90 minit, 12 peserta perlumba yang hadir dan kini tinggal 8 sahaja. 4 lagi telah pun ditelan masa dan 17 minit sahaja masa yang tinggal. Mungkin kita akan melihat lebih kurang dalam 8 lap lagi. So sebelum berlakunya sebelum berakhirnya perlumbaan pada malam ini.
So there you have it there. With 17 minutes left on the clock there, Muazzam's actually dropped quite a bit of pace there. He left the pits with 2.4 seconds gap between himself and Wicket Low, and he was doing quite well at that. But now it's dropped down to 1.5 seconds there. So with 17 minutes left, I think it's going to be a real defensive battle for both drivers there. Muazzam Zairi there, fairly slow there. Wicket Low going very quickly indeed, 207.750. That's almost qualifying pace right now. I think what I see here is that Wicket Low, he knows he's got the tyres up to temperature there. He's going to try and do a few qualifying laps to really overhaul the gap there before Muazzam can get his car back up to speed. And of course, there is that question, did he actually change tyres? Because he could be trying to make those tyres last the entire race distance, which will be very difficult indeed.
That makes sense. That does make sense, Max. Kalau kita ikut seperti apa kita katakan tadi, Muazzam Zairi kalau dia tidak menukarkan tayarnya, mungkin timing yang the best timing that he can do is 209. Tapi low wicket, dia dah tukar tayar, dia dah isi minyak. So dia boleh run the whole lap with all his might sekarang ni. Itu dia 0.5 sahaja. Low wicket akan melakukan lontaran. Low wicket akan melakukan pemotongan. Adakah dia akan melakukan overtake di sini? Pemotongan. Overtake, pemotongan. Pintasan. Adakah dia akan melakukan pintasan di sini? Muazzam Zairi 0.5, low wicket 0.5 di belakang Muazzam Zairi sekarang. Di antara dia dan juga Muazzam Zairi, nampaknya hanya masa yang akan memberi jawapan kepada kita. 15 minit sahaja masa tinggal. Muazzam Zairi cubaan untuk membuat defensive maneuver. Cantik sekali di situ. Low wicket masih lagi mencari ruang dan peluang untuk memaksa keretanya memintas Muazzam Zairi. 0.2, gap semakin merapat di antara mereka berdua. Berada di bawah jembatan, betul-betul di bawah jembatan. Apa nama corner ni
Going up out of Degner corner there and into the hairpin right now. So there you can see that Wicket Low looking all sorts of directions there, left to the right. 0.2 of a second there. They're going to go side by side, coming up towards the back straight here, coming into the braking zone for spoon curve there. Hard on the throttle there. He's going to try and go around the outside, which turns into the inside for the spoon curve there. Will Wicket Low make that work? Coming around on the inside there, very close quarters battling, coming out of the corner there. Looks like Wicket Low managing to make that look very, very easy indeed. Although it is quite dodgy trying to get that move to work coming out of there. Now, is Muazzam going to try and fight back? He doesn't seem to have the grip right now. I think he might have been looking for a second place finish with that pit lane maneuver there. But it was good while it lasted, I suppose, for Muazzam to try and keep that car into the lead. But it looks like Wicket Low's just got far more pace there. And Ayman Hazik's right behind there, also looking for a chance.
Pada pendapat saya, Max, saya tak rasa Muazzam Zairi menukarkan tayarnya sebentar tadi, kerana masa yang dilakukan untuk last lap adalah 2 minit 9 saat. 1 saat gap di antara dia dan juga timing yang dilakukan oleh low wicket. Maknanya, well, dia tak tukar tayar tu.
Yeah. It looks like the track is stabilizing at 43 degrees Celsius and 35 degrees air temperature. I think that is a mistake. Not going for the tire change means that Muazzam definitely won't be able to compete if they have to battle between each other going around this track right now. So it's going to be very difficult for Wicket Low to try and actually keep himself ahead. For Muazzam to try and keep himself ahead of Ayman Hazik right now, which that is going to be the big question right now. Ayman Hazik can see the two drivers up ahead. He's doing quite well in terms of pace right now. Maybe he might have just been saving the car up for this battle. He may have thought ahead to try and see if he can keep himself in the hunt for the top 3, but it's been very, very close at the head of the field so far. It's almost like a Keirin bicycle race. They're all sort of lined up, waiting for a chance to strike there. But it looks like Ayman's definitely catching Muazzam very, very quickly.
Oh, nampaknya Ayman Hazik akan melakukan pintasan di hadapan, Max. 0.4 mungkin di what is it of the spoon curve.
Meanwhile, big overtaking maneuver attempt there. Oh, big touch there. Adjustment time. And Nicholas Tanway Lund, they crash. They crash going through turn 2. Unbelievable stuff there right in front of us. Crazy stuff that Jesmond manages to keep the car going, but Nicholas, I think, might have had some problems there. He's managed to get the car going again, but that was incredible. They touch going through turn 1 and into turn 2. High speed driving through there. Just incredible bit of car control for them to not have a massive accident, but of course Nicholas couldn't quite hold that slide and spun the car coming out towards the outside of the corner there. Very, very difficult stuff indeed there.
Dia punya tandem entry cantik Max tadi, tapi itu dia Aiman Haziq cuba untuk melakukan pintasan di first turn, tetapi Muazzam Zairi mengambil daripada dalam, berjaya untuk mempertahankan posisinya, dan kini sekali lagi attacking maneuver daripada Aiman Haziq, tetapi tidak membuahkan hasil.
Yeah, very close driving there through there. They almost copied the same accident we saw with Jesmond and Nicholas there. They almost got into that situation. But Ayman and Ryan, Ayman and Muazzam there, I think really, it looks like Ayman's definitely just looking for a way to get past right now. 10 minutes left in the race, and Muazzam wants to keep as many points as he can to push himself as far up the field in the championship as they can. But just having this quick message there from Omar Aziz. He says one of his spies have confirmed Muazzam did not change tyres when he went through the pits, and I think that is a critical mistake. He may not have been able to lead the race if he did change the tyres, but he would definitely been able to keep second, I think. But right now, Ayman going around the outside there on the run up to Spoon curve. Of course, this is a long right-hander there, but it becomes a left-hander when he gets up to the Spoon curve. So he's just trying to set himself up there, going around the inside, going around the outside. Muazzam defending as hard as he can there, but he's gone too wide. He's defended a bit too hard there. He's pushed it a bit too hard. They touch going around the outside of the corner there, and it looks like Ayman's managed to keep that car ahead, and Muazzam goes down another position. Brave bit of driving from both drivers to try and fight their way around Spoon curve. That is a corner that takes forever to get around, and I think Muazzam just defended a bit too early there, and a bit too hard, bit too far inside, and he just couldn't hang on to the car going to the middle part of that corner.
Saya rasa Max pernah drive GT3 dekat Suzuka kan, and kita tahu betapa susahnya spoon corner tu dalam GT3.
Yep.
GT3 tu penuh dengan aerodynamic Max, but this car
yeah.
So apa yang dilakukan oleh Ayman Haziq tadi sebenarnya sangat berani. Satu tindakan yang sangat berani yang dilakukan oleh Ayman Haziq berjaya membuahkan hasil. Kini dia berada di posisi yang kedua, dan masa perlumbaan tinggal lagi 9 minit sahaja lagi Max.
Yeah, there you go. So now down towards third position. I don't think he's going to, I don't really think he's going to lose any more positions there. Ryan Lim over 30 seconds behind. So zero blinker there. Wow, these guys fighting after 35 laps like it's lap 1. Yeah, I have to agree. Very, very challenging race conditions right now as well. It's not perfect conditions out there on track. It's really very challenging indeed, but it's definitely interesting to see them push hard. You can see that Muazzam's really struggling for grip there. He's going wide on every single curb that he could see coming up through there. Now, of course, the scary part is that in this sim, you can even have a tire blow out if you're not lucky.
Ya, itu pun jadi satu masalah juga kalau tayar pecah Max. Tapi race tinggal 8 minit Max selalu cakap ketuk kayu tapi 8 minit aku rasa selamat lah.
Well, he's got a very, very big gap to the driver behind him. If I was him, I would back off.
Yeah,
save the tires.
Reasonable.
Because I think he must be on like 20% tires left, which is almost undrivable here.
Saya rasa dia berada di penghujung tayar dia lah. Kira kan dia habis ni kan. Kalau ambil tayar tu memang tinggal thread je tau. Dia tinggal dia punya dia punya macam dawai-dawai tu keluar lah.
Absolutely. While you're watching the racing action going on with 7 minutes left on the track there, we're going to ask you a very simple question. Who is your driver of the day? Ayman Haziq, Wicket Low, Muazzam Zari or Nicholas Tan? Get voting, and the driver of the day will take home a Galeri Kereta X50 t-shirt. The voting will end at the end of the stream, and we will announce the winner of driver of the day in social media later on during the week.
So kita tahu penonton kita ada dia punya special fan favorite. Yes. Kita ada dia punya fan favorite dia kan. Jadi korang boleh pilih saja siapa yang korang rasa layak untuk mendapat driver of the day untuk hari ini. Jadi itu dia hadiah untuk driver of the day hari ini adalah berjaya membawa pulang Galeri Kereta X50 t-shirt, X50 race mode.
Yeah. So there you go. Fantastic stuff indeed. 6 minutes left on the clock there. It looks like Wicket Low has a comfortable 3.7 second gap between himself and Ayman in second place. Muazzam there is in third position. Nice comfortable gap between himself and Ayman there. And of course, Ryan is 30 seconds behind in fourth place. Kamal Ali is in fifth there again. He just can't catch the car ahead of him. And there's no way he's going to be caught by the car behind him. So he's sort of in no man's land. Believe it or not, there's only 8 cars running at the end of this race. That's how brutal it's been.
Max, 40 degree Max.
Yeah.
40 darjah. 40 bukan darjah Celsius Max. Okay, dan ini adalah Suzuka, salah satu antara track yang terpanjang yang kita ada selain daripada Spa.
Yeah.
This is one of it. Dan race 90 minit menggunakan kereta yang tak ada brake ni.
Yeah.
Well, kalau ni tak brutal, aku tak tahu apa lagi brutal daripada ni, Max. This is brutal enough.
Absolutely. Incredibly difficult scenes there from all the drivers there, but it's amazing to me that Wicket Low is still doing 207s there, and so is Ayman. 207.9, 207.8. Muazzam there, you can see the gap. He's a full second slower than the rest of the drivers there in the top 3, and I think that's just a function of the tyres falling away there at the moment there. But the race is definitely in stasis, as we say. Just like a proper endurance race, it's all sort of wound down to a very natural conclusion. But of course, anything can happen. You can just ask the Toyota team about the 2016 24-hour Le Mans.
Oh, anything can happen. I do agree with that.
That was on the final lap. And it was, believe it or not, a 50 US cent piece. Yeah.
Really?
That was what failed on the turbo.
Oh my god.
It was a hose clamp.
Oh, shoosh.
And yep, a hose clamp came loose, and that triggered something in the engine's electronics to say, oh, there's a big leak somewhere. It shut the engine off, and because the engine was overheating almost, it was very, very hot, almost to the point of overheating, the car would turn over, it wouldn't start again. So it took a full 3 minutes for him to restart the engine. And I think I speak for all of us here in the endurance racing industry, of which I've been lucky to be a part of on several occasions, but I speak for everyone in that industry. All of our hearts dropped when we saw that, and we saw Mark Webber drive that Porsche past.
Oh, wow, that was the last lap, Max. And then 3 minit
Yeah. And it was a 50 cent, RM1.50, the part that failed.
The hose clamp, korang tak tahu hose clamp tu apa Dia macam bentuk U tu.
Dia macam kalau kan kat luar tu garden hose yang kita buat untuk siram tu kan,
yang besi
clamp tu.
Yeah. It was something like that.
50 cents.
Itu je yang tercabut, Max. Oh wow. Well, dalam game ni benda tu tak boleh tercabut lah. But other than
Other
that,
things can happen.
Things can happen.
Tires blow out, you spin, you lose concentration.
When we talk about things can happen, Max, that what happened in Saga Cup, remember?
Yeah.
Oh my god. The pedal patah.
Yeah, as Umar Aziz says, the pedals can fail, which we've seen before. We've seen it with Muazzam, we've seen it with a couple of other guys.
I've seen that with Master Sets, Master Practice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that.
So very, yep. So even Umar Aziz, he was just saying it happened to him as well. Pedals failing.
So
at the last minute.
just imagine you have been driving for 24 hours, endurance race, and that happened at the last lap. Oh my god.
It was the second to last lap for the Toyota team.
Aku macam and then you was leading. And I was like,
He was leading by I think 45 minutes. Or something ridiculous, 45 seconds or whatever it was. It was half a lap. He was in the lead.
it is at Spa,
It was at Le Mans.
Le Mans.
Yeah.
Dia happen dekat mana? Dekat tengah-tengah.
On the front start-finish straight, directly in front of the Toyota pits.
Wow.
Tak boleh tulis skrip macam ni tau. You can't write the script. So there we go. Yep, there we go. Leader is on his last lap coming up right now. So he's going to start his last lap very shortly. 1 minute 21 seconds left on the clock there. And for Wicket Low, all he needs to do is just bring the car home. He'll be listening to the car very intently. Every single noise, every single twitch, every single... anything that's out of the ordinary for him is going to feel like an imminent failure going through there. We always talk about this, but towards the end of a long race, the car starts to rattle a bit more.
Yeah,
And
it was
weird
like
noises.
Wiko.
Yeah, some weird noises, like a few weird rattles. The steering wheel doesn't seem right. The steering wheel doesn't feel quite right. The brakes seem a bit weird, but that's just your mind playing tricks on you because you're that close to what would be a very, very epic victory there for Wicket Low. Ayman there 3.3 seconds behind Wazam, 4.4 seconds behind Ayman there.
I bet he managed to aku rasa dia berjaya untuk mengungguli championship pada malam ini.
So yeah, for sure, I think Wicket Low will take home the second place in the championship if this result holds there. Ayman Haziq, the champion himself, is in second position. The top two positions are just about sorted right now. Jasmine there, he did a fantastic job trying to keep himself up as high as possible in the points there, but it's his sixth place position. Unfortunately, not quite enough compared to the wonderful performance of Wicket Low. The time has officially run out. This is the final lap of the race there. We've got about 3 kilometers left before the end of the race, and it was a brilliant win there for Wicket Low.
Betul lah, perlombaan yang menarik yang dapat kita saksikan pada malam ini di antara Wicket Low, Muazzam Zairi dan juga Ayman Haziq yang tak sudah-sudah daripada awal perlombaan masih lagi cuba sehingga ke penghujung perlombaan. Dan honorable mention lah kata orang putih tu, honorable mention untuk mereka-mereka yang berjaya menghabiskan perlombaan pada malam ini, Max. Berjaya menghabiskan perlombaan 90 minit kita pada malam ini. Well, saya tahu macam mana penatnya benda.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the hardest things you can do in the race is to take the final stint of an endurance race. And this is effectively a good simulation of the final stint of a race. The track conditions are terrible. The track temperatures are awful. The racing conditions couldn't be any worse there in AC. But this man has managed to take it home there. He can cruise to the finish line there. In fact, he absolutely is. Coming across the line there, Wicket Low takes home the win, and you can see how happy he is on the driver cam. He deserved that one. Ayman Haziq comes home in second place, and Muazzam Zairi does in fact get the car home in third position. But I don't think there's a happier man sim racing today than Wicket Low.
Max, 90 minit dan berjaya mengungguli perlombaan sehingga ke akhir perlombaan. Siapa yang tak gembira, Max? Siapa yang tak seronok? You can see the face lah. Orang putih kata, orang Melayu kata, boleh tengok muka lah.
Yeah.
Tengok muka pun tahu dia punya happy, dia macam mana punya level lah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a well-deserved victory. He paced himself brilliantly. He managed to keep a very high speed throughout the course of the race there, kept the car absolutely spotless. He did everything correctly down to a T. He wasn't even that phased when Muazzam got ahead of him. He just got his head down, elevated his pace a little bit. You don't want to just squirt off and sprint as fast as possible. You just have to just keep the tempo up a little bit, you know, push the car a little bit harder, and he got the job done there. Absolutely brilliant stuff there from Wicket Low. They're repping the SSAD t-shirt and the nice cool white background. I think that's what that color is called on the wall.
Cool white. Yeah. Dia macam a bit bluish.
Yeah,
Yeah. Dia good that. Dia ada cool white dengan warm white.
Yes. Guess who's been buying paints? Or looking at buying paints. I haven't actually bought any paint yet. But yeah, brilliant stuff there from Wicked Low. Aiman there in second place and Wazam in third. We'll see if we can get any of the drivers on board in the race lobby. But for now, we're going to check and see. We're going to check and see if we can get any of the drivers into the lobby there, race lobby, as they're doing their cool down laps of the race. But before we have a quick chat with them, how was the race for you?
Well, Max, 90 minit dan diorang tak berhenti, Max.
Yeah.
They never stop fighting for the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah.
This is different level tau.
Yeah.
I mean like
Very tactical, but itulah.
susah nak cakap 90 minit punya race with TCR cars and it's Suzuka. It's really an iconic things, but dia tak habis fighting sampai hujung pun dia orang masih fighting for position actually.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff indeed. We do have Aiman Haziq in the virtual studio right now. Aiman, can you hear us? Absolutely. Really, you didn't quite manage to get the win today, but
but today I was like relaxing actually. but yeah, because I haven't practiced much because I've been sick for the whole week actually. So yeah.
Right.
I couldn't really test. I already did like 20 laps before the all server open. So I couldn't really manage to get the setup right. So I just like okay, just go with the setup from Chalabi and I just go do it. But actually, good job by Wicked actually. Yeah. And also Muazzam today. We had good battles today.
Yo, the battle daripada start sampai habis, babe. Ini bukan good battle.
Yeah. Boleh tahan juga tu.
The battle from the start sampai habis lagi.
Seriously, I don't understand how to drive this car with full fuel. It's very hard. I'm struggling with the full fuel loadout. Yeah.
So yeah, the car changes so much from full tank to fuel.
When you go full tank, right, the balance actually change. So yeah, like because if you full fuel, right, the rear car is actually a bit heavier, so you can slide a bit more in the rear. So something like that. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, apart from all of that, it looks like you've definitely for sure confirmed that that position there. We have our first and second place in the championship there for yourself. The most important question we can ask you before we let you go: how do you feel about A, being our champion, and B, getting to drive that Neve 7?
Feel really, how to say, I'm really happy because I mean, as I said, I couldn't get all win. But at least I got all pole and good performance overall. I mean, I had no, how to say, like there's no big crash that ended up DNF or something, so it was good overall. And yeah, I'm very interested to drive another real-wheel drive car because so far, I mean, I joined MCS and I joined MSF. All of them are front-wheel drive cars. So if I need to try back a rear-wheel drive car, a full AG rear drive car, I'm very interested. Because the last time I drove a rear-wheel drive car was in Japan. It was a Formula Junior car. Yes. So I think it's quite similar. I think, but I'm not sure. Does this car use was it semi-slicks as well? Is it not?
Yeah,
not slicks, right?
It'll be on semi-slicks.
Yeah, semi-slick, but still, just is I think it's like a Caterham, right? Or is it?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to drive the car, of course. It's a rear drive, so I'm hoping to have some fun with rear drive cars. It's been a long time.
Nanti kalau rasa-rasa macam tak nak bawa, bagi tahu aku boleh drive kan. Aku boleh drive kan, tolong.
Tolong drive kan.
Duduk sebelah.
Duduk sebelah lagi lah. Thank you so much, Aiman Haziq. Congratulations.
Wicked Low.
Yeah.
Very great place today. And also Muazzam as well. Good battle. I think Muazzam, did you not change tires in the last one?
Yeah, I forgot.
Aku dah agak dia tak tukar tayar siul. Aku dah agak dia tak tukar tayar. Macam aduh. Ni Mamat tak tukar tayar.
Aku ingat sebab dah mati-mati aku ingat benda tu dah dia dah
set macam tu.
Dah set up. Dia memang dia takkan tukar
dia punya ni dia punya strategi
Rupanya dia lupa.
Okay, for those yang mungkin kat rumah yang tak tahu untuk korang masuk pit stop, korang kena set dulu apa yang kau nak tukar, apa yang kau nak repair, so on. Jadi benda tu boleh bila dia tengah race kan, macam kadang-kadang tak ingat. So itu yang berlaku sebenarnya.
So selain daripada tu Gaskun macam macam
Macam perlumbaan malam ni.
Akhirnya tak kena sabotage.
Untuk 3 perlumbaan yang sebelum ni 3 perlumbaan yang sebelum ni Gaskun dia tak berapa bernasib baik. Perlumbaan pertama crash early. Walaupun timing is a good timing tapi crash early. Perlumbaan kedua pun benda yang sama berlaku. Perlumbaan ketiga pun benda yang sama berlaku. So untuk perlumbaan yang keempat ni macam alhamdulillah sikit
Alhamdulillah. Ini last race ni memang dah tanam dalam hati kan. Starting race tu dah fikir dah. Siapa nombor 2 ni nak duduk sebelah dia, confirm tak kena langgar. Betul.
Kena duduk sebelah nombor 2.
Itulah. Dah
Baru
lepas
tahu.
first turn, jalan boy lokit, jalan. Memang dah tak boleh kejar time tu. Jalan dulu. Yang penting dah selamat kan.
Dia kena duduk sebelah tempat nombor 2. Kira ini strategi baru ni.
Ya.
Risiko. Tak sebab first round tu memang silap sendiri dah kan. Pergi duduk langgar barrier tu dah kenapa. Lepas tu second round, third round tu memang nak ambil, kalau boleh nak ambil safe distance. So jarakkan sikit daripada orang depan.
Tapi orang belakang pula langgar.
Tahu-tahu kena sodok. Itu yang ni. Tak apa, kita try follow paling rapat, duduk sebelah pun tak apa.
Yelah, yang first round tu sebenarnya bukan salah Gaskun sebenarnya. Barrier tu duduk situ buat apa?
Itulah tu. Kan?
Itulah first round semua langgar dinding
Everybody was like pam. Aiman seorang je. Aiman seorang selamat kat situ.
Tak gagik
lagi dia orang langgar. Tak
Aiman
dinding, langgar van biskut tu.
Alah.
Dua je.
Main biskut. Siapa yang langgar main biskut tu kesian lah.
Ya. Itu dia unique hazard dalam dunia sim racing.
Ya. Tapi kalau dalam real life kau langgar barrier macam tu mau meninggal kau.
Dah, time tu kalau real life second round tu dah
bengkok lah.
Kalau ada lagi pun tak race lah kot. Trauma dah.
Tak apa, terima kasih je lah. Risau Okay.
So itu dia. Terima kasih Gaskun kerana sudi join kami dan congratulations. Third place.
Third place.
By the way,
Congrats bro.
by the way, good race. Work it low, Aiman Haziq. Very fast.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too.
Cannot catch up lah.
Alah, lucky I'm not there. If I'm there, also I cannot catch dia guys.
Also tak boleh
Also tak boleh. I also cannot catch you guys. Alah. So I'm not saying anything. Okay.
So we're looking at the scores as it's a clean sweep. So congratulations to Wicked Low, won the race. I think you got pole, right?
Oh.
And driver of the day. So congratulations there. How was the race for you?
For me, my race just now was just focus on my race pace and try to follow Aiman Haziq all the way. But then, I had a good battle with Aiman and also Gaskun during the endurance race. But then, for your information, I had a little bit more fuel and I came out ahead of Aiman Haziq by a second and a half. And then when Gaskun come out, then I saw his gap was about 3 seconds. Then for me it was like, this is it. Then from there we battle on, and so far for me this race is Suzuka. It's been a while since last race win.
Yeah. So congratulations there. This must have been a long time coming. Take us through that. What we really want to know is how do you feel going out overtaking Muazzam on that left-hander?
On the
That
spot.
looked cool.
It's
Around spoon.
orang macam risau nak buat overtaking dekat situ, and then just do it. I don't care bro.
For me, my exit speed was a bit faster compared to him, and I did manage to follow closely behind and then managed to outbrake. And then made a move over there. And it was a great move to me.
Yeah, I think that's going to be on our replay, on our sort of clip shows for quite some time.
Kira kan that was a bold move. We got 2.
Yeah.
And both of those bold move is actually one from Wicked, and another one is from Aiman.
Yeah.
Dia macam
aku
aku nak
at the spoon, is it? Was it?
Same corner.
Same corner. Dia macam
Nampak duit lambat. Asal okay masuk dalam.
tak.
Aduh.
Kalau kau tanya aku kan,
struggle dengan tayar lama.
kita akan cakap dengan Max bawa GT3. Kau nak overtake dekat Spoon pun risau. Dia buat TCR overtake kat Spoon dah selama. Memang tak ada fikir panjang punya ni.
Itu sebab kita
korang
duduk kat sini.
Memang gila lah. Memang top driver lah. Respect.
Apa kesian di situ. Gasku macam cannot do anything anymore.
Ya.
Padahal dah set dah. Kan ada 3 configuration untuk pit stop strategy. First configuration memang aku dah set untuk minyak saja. Second configuration minyak dengan tayar. Time tu memang dah fikir dah, ini rasa dia orang semua tukar tayar. Okay, masuk lah. Masuk sekali tengok, alamak tak tukar configuration.
Alamak.
Confident sangat tu. Oh my god. So Wicked, kita tahu yang Wicked dia dah ada experience dalam Gincana.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Right now, our 2 winners, and congratulations, Wicked Low, for your chance to drive that, test drive that Neve 7. But interestingly enough, we have a bit of a Toyota theme. Ayman Haziq, his car has a 4AG engine.
Yeah, yep.
Wicked Low has the rest of the car.
The engine tu pun 4AGE kan?
4AG?
4AG tapi dia punya engine lagi power 20 valve. Aku 16 valve.
16 valve.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. So there you go, rear-wheel drive 4AG driver. You're gonna be able to feel basically that same car with some more advanced front suspension and a lot less weight.
Yeah, like that car, that engine in Kancil, even less than Kancil with weight reduction.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean the rear axle is also the same as an A86.
Oh, okay.
Just a little fun fact about Neve 7. Are you going to be looking forward to driving that car?
Definitely yes. So like to.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I really impact Vertex Esports for the opportunity to test drive the new 7 race car.
Yeah.
And definitely I will look forward to it pretty soon, I guess.
Yeah, we will definitely let you guys know as soon as we get our dates in order and everything else, and we'll contact you after the end of the show, perhaps in the next couple of days or so. But congratulations to Ayman Haziq and Wicked Low, our 2 grand prize winners. And of course, to the 3rd, 4th and 5th place drivers in the championship, they will get works engineering coupons discount for their next purchases at Works Engineering. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Pada masing-masing semua boleh buat kereta lumba. Tapi lumba dekat Sepang tau, jangan lumba dekat jalan raya.
Yeah, so keep it on the streets, guys, and congratulations to all 3 of you. Fantastic job, fantastic race, and a fantastic end to the race.
Thank you so much.
All right there. So what an end to the series.
Yeah,
unbelievable stuff that we've seen. Some spectacular overtaking maneuvers, a couple of spectacular almost overtakes.
Dia macam every series kita ada dia punya different style of highlight tau. Macam this series is actually the way people overtake memang out of this world lah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talk about that dekat Hungaroring.
Yeah.
Dekat that turn 4.
Yeah.
Tak ada siapa nak overtake kat sini. Suddenly people do that. They overtake there.
Yeah, the last corner you'd think of. Like Spoon is really hard to overtake around.
Alah, race dah habis. Oh, hai Ika. Well, Ika lambat sangat sampai. Dah habis lah, lama dah race ni 90 minit. Baru sampai.
Itulah. What can you do about that? But in any case, that is the end of our championship, but not the end of our championship coverage, because we do have a post-season show. So do tune in this Wednesday at 9:30 for your chance to catch up with all of the action that has been throughout the season, talk to some of the drivers there, and generally have a little bit of fun. And we've got a few more bonus things to do throughout the course of that show there. It's going to be a fun one, so do stay tuned for the post-season show this Wednesday at 9:30. Before we go though, special thanks to our sponsors. Special thanks to EXN, the lubricant expert, for their sponsorship of the X50 series with their Plus Care package, really bringing forward a new level of performance there. Just the lubrication, when you get that right with the coolants, with the proper transmission oils, you can really tell the difference once you had a full service of your car there. And with EXN, you can't go wrong.
Betul, Max. Saya tak lupa juga kepada co-sponsor kita, Work Engineering. Macam Max kata, dia mengeluarkan produk-produk performance, Max. Kita ada macam ini atas meja ni. Yang ni pun sama daripada Work Engineering. Well, tak lupa juga kepada kita punya media partner, Max.
Yes.
Kita ada Galeri Kereta dan juga DSF.
Yep. So again, another reminder that Galeri Kereta KE30 is still technically up. So as soon as that number rolls down to 1 million, it's so close. Guys, go and check out his YouTube channel. Fantastic footage there.
How to subscribe? Let me tell you how to subscribe. The subscribe is free. And then
Gratis.
you just buy this pack, which is yang ada dalam Shopee diorang.
Yeah.
Then you have a chance to win.
Yeah. Gratis. Ni tak gratis lah, tapi
ni tak gratis. Yang ni
tapi
beli subscribe gratis.
Subscribe. Yeah. So there you have it. Absolutely brilliant stuff there. And of course, special thanks to Drive Safe and Fast, DSF, Daniel Fernandez, doing a great job there running that site and giving you all the latest and greatest in new and used car news, tips, tricks, and all of the industry information you need, and all the advice you need to get your next road car up and running. Also, a special thanks go to all of us here in the studio there. We have, of course, behind the scenes, we've had Javi Alvarez, Kelvin T, working things out there. We've got a few guys in the stewarding side of things that have been helping us out there. Alip Jantan is the man
dia
who's helping. Yeah, dia ada kat belakang. He's literally the back room hero there.
That room is meant for him.
Yeah,
ni aku punya tempat. Dia macam tu dah.
Yeah, he's got his bed there. So special thanks to those guys behind the scene there. Special thanks to our director / pit commentator / comedic writing assistant Omar Aziz for all of his help in the course of this series, and of course to our producer Kara Alang and soundman tu nama dia apa? Aku lupa.
Abang Acap. Aku pandai juga.
Acap bagi surat sikit. Tak ada. The soundman is well insulated.
Yeah.
So Acap ni pun boleh kira lagi satu member of the team to help us sound nice. So we've got this nice new headsets and everything else there, and he's doing a great job there. So special thanks to Acap.
Suddenly I sound like a radio DJ now.
And I still sound like myself, but better.
Okay.
So, and of course, terima kasih Encik Budi kerana sudi datang.
Yeah, Max. Sama-sama. So, kita akan jumpa lagi pada hari Rabu jam 9 malam. Hari Rabu lah untuk kita punya post-season show.
Yeah, absolutely. But until then, we'll see you in the next stream. That's all from all of us here. A special thanks to all of the drivers and, of course, to all of you guys at home, without whom we would not be able to pull this off. I've been Max Palmer, and we'll see you in the next stream. Bye for now. Ta-ra.
Presents. We're established in 2015, headquartered in Malaysia with US technology. We have been expanding to over 10 global markets and will expand for more. We keep on learning, emphasizing on self-improvement, and yet never stop to innovate and evolve. Let's begin with the new era. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. EXN's new logo, the lubricant expert. Endurance and Neoteric. A combination of shield and falcon to protect your car engine at the fastest speed. EXN, the lubricant expert.